every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put members' success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
KCUV Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
And a great Monday afternoon to you. Welcome back. Thank you. It's good to be back with you here on the airwaves in southern Arizona. Back like we never left, but we did leave for a week after the conclusion of the basketball season, as we do so often. At least we have in the 3 years that I've been back in this chair. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in. We've got a lot to catch up on. I mean, just sports. We may go away, but sports doesn't stop. Baseball's starting to get in full swing. The Diamondbacks are, they're looking pretty good. What are they, 13-6 since losing 3 in a row to start the year in Los Angeles? Remember, we were all worried about that. We were kind of scared. It's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? It's the Dodgers. They spent all this money. They got more money than God in Los Angeles. There's no way we can compete with them. Well, again, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think the Diamondbacks are going to win the National League West, but it's like our guy Nick Picaro said when we had him on right before we went on vacation. Hey, it's got to get to the postseason. Got to get to the playoffs. Got to get in the wild card. Don't worry about trying to win this division. If you can win this division, great. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just worry about getting to the postseason. And right now, they look like they're capable. They're a team capable of doing just that so far, at least through 22 games.
7-3 in the last 10, DK. And we know the last 2 years it has really been the first half that has kind of doomed them. They've had to scramble to try to make the playoffs late in the last 2 seasons. So good to see them get off to a good start.
It is. It very much is. The transfer portal is open. It opened, obviously, the day after the national final. We were there for Michigan's coronation against the UConn Huskies. I think before we left, or just as we were leaving, a few guys started to get in it from your Arizona Wildcats. One of the things we talked about that week was they were one of the few teams that had not been hit by the transfer portal. Expected that there would be guys that got in it. One of the names that was the first to get in there was Dwayne Aristotle. Not a shocker, no surprise. We had talked about that with our guy, Saul Bookman from PHNX before we went away for the week, that might be a name and likely was going to be a name that would get into the transfer portal. I'd heard that name as way back as the beginning of the postseason, that Dwayne would probably be a young man that would not return to the program, and he is indeed in the portal. Disappointed to see, obviously, a guy that showed a lot of upside, would have been coming back as a sophomore, would have obviously had a much larger role than he did this year, kind of being that eighth man in the rotation with up and down minutes, and then he got sick with the mononucleosis and missed a bunch of games, and came back and, had some flashes, but never really had much of a prominent part in the rotation in the postseason. And now maybe he'll try to take what he learned here and go find him a lot of minutes in another location. Would have definitely loved to have had Dwayne Aristode back, but certainly understand if this was not the right fit for him. Great skill set, great young man. Really enjoyed talking to him. First time we got a chance to interview him. Another one of the international players that Tommy Lloyd coveted and brought into this program. But again, it does not work out for all of them, and those that it does not for will go find another place to play, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of teams lined up that'll want to bring him in.
And maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, the reason he didn't play much last year is there was another three who was a little bit better than he was in the freshman, and we don't know, the full story. We can assume who we think is going to be leaving campus and going on to professional careers, but we don't know for certain. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and I agree. I mean, I think Dwayne Aristode has probably the purest stroke on the team, really consistent jump shot, gets really high on that release too. Definitely needs to work on his decision-making once he gets into the key. I think that's the big next step for him is 2 dribbles and more, he gets into a little bit of trouble. But as far as the catch-and-shoot game, probably the best catch-and-shoot guy on the team last year. Just had some really, really quality players on the wing playing ahead of him is the only reason we didn't hear Dwayne Aristode's name called more often.
Yeah. So he's in the portal. CD Gay also in the portal. That one maybe was a little bit of a surprise. I thought maybe he would stick around and try to continue to develop in this program. Were you surprised at all by that one, Gina?
Again, I think personal motivations are tough. These days, a lot of the 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are in college right now are basically shopping themselves to other companies. It's like getting your first job and having some minor success, and then, hey, you're a hot, and that's what the NIL market is. So I don't know that Sidney Gay isn't necessarily really happy with the development he's had in his 1 year on campus and the coaching staff and what they're doing for him and plan to do for him in the future if he stays. I just think it may be a situation where, he's potentially looking to see what's out there. Again, as listeners remember, you don't have to leave school if you put your name in the portal. You can come back.
Exactly.
You're basically, it's like putting your name in the NBA draft, the old style of that. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he came back, but if he leaves, I'll wish him nothing but the best.
A few names have come in since we left. Maybe the biggest, a couple of guards. Obviously, you're going to need some guards. With Jaden Bradley leaving, likely Braden Burries walking out of the door. Though your 2 starters, Delly off the bench leaving. The biggest name, Derek Dixon, who kind of became the starting point guard for the Carolina Tar Heels as the season went on last year, was not the starter at the beginning of the year. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know anything about Derek Dixon and how good he is. We'll begin to kind of have those conversations. We'll talk to some people who maybe know a little bit more about Derek Dixon's style of play, but obviously he was at a major program. He's got a ton of upside. It wasn't maybe, I know there was a lot of talk early on about the kid from Oregon being a guy that might end up here, but he instead decided to go to Louisville, where apparently they've got a whole lot of money now, and they're not afraid to spend it down at Louisville.
Well, yeah, remember like the stories of the boats recruiting and all that. They've always had money to spend down there.
Hey, what is it about that bourbon money? Is it the bourbon money or is it the horse money? Which one do you partake to think that it is?
Yeah, all of it.
The bourbon and the horse money.
It's all invested in either Kentucky or Louisville, one of the two.
One of the two.
What I do know about Derek Dixon, DK, is he's from Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And if you've seen, that's where KD's from, right? So it's like there's a if you don't know, listeners, like DC has some like crazy ballers coming out of there. So I didn't get a chance to watch too much Tar Heel basketball last year, but I'm really looking forward to studying his film. And I will say this, as far as like trading players back and forth and coaching rumors and all this stuff, UNC and Arizona have been linked between Vasar and the coaching search and now Derek Dixon transferring over. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing what these two guys can do. JJ Maniquit as well.
Arizona right now not listed very highly in terms of the transfer portal rankings as put out by On3. They are 53rd overall with the two guys that have committed to come play here to this point. Derek Dixon, guard. You mentioned Washington, D.C., Gonzaga Prep there, University of North Carolina, and J.J. Mandequit. I hope I'm pronouncing that young man's name right. out of Hilo, Hawaii.
Yep.
And the University of Washington. So surprised by that low number, disappointed by that low number so far. Again, it's Tommy Lloyd. He'll find the right set of guys. He'll find the right pieces to put into this program. Is it going again? But it's a program that's losing a lot. When you look at that top 8, and we just mentioned some of the names. Right now, you're losing probably 6 of those 8 guys in your rotation, and maybe potentially more. I mean, we kind of believe that you're going to get your Ivan Karchinkov back and your Motiejs Krivas back, but everybody pretty much else is likely going to be out the door. That's a lot. There's a lot of pieces there that have to be replaced.
However, there was some good news about an hour ago.
Okay.
Where Caleb Holt, the number 4 overall recruit in this year's class, officially signed with the U of A. So he's going to be on campus, really sturdy guard, two-way guy. So that guy's the 4th ranked player in high school this year, officially signed with Arizona today.
There you go. That's a freshman coming in. So you have another high-level freshman. Was he McDonald's All-American?
Yes.
Yes, McDonald's All-American in Caleb Holt. So
he's a prolific prep guy, but he's from Georgia.
Right. Prolific Prep. Another one of the many prep schools out there.
Too many.
Across the country. There are a lot of them. So we can dive into that. Your thoughts on what you've seen so far in the transfer portal from your Arizona men's basketball team?
I do have one quick transfer portal thought that blew my mind.
Yes.
Bryson Tiller, are you familiar?
The name, yeah.
He's the one who rained all the threes on Arizona and won the game with Kansas with Darren Peterson out. Well, do you know where he transferred to 2 days ago?
I know that was another
Missouri, bro. Like, how do you go from Kansas to Missouri? Like, that's worse than Arizona ASU. Like, that is a real rivalry.
Good for Dennis Gates. All right. My boy Dennis Gates making some play in the transfer
But it's
portal.
like, have you ever seen a freshman basketball player have their jersey burned? Because that's what happened. I mean, you don't like.
They were burning his jersey in Kansas?
Well, I'm slightly exaggerating, but there are people who take it that seriously. Yeah. That rivalry between Missouri and Kansas goes back to the war, right? It's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, again, we talked about that, I think, right before we went on vacation. Kansas, a blue blood, losing high-level players like a Bryson Tiller, like a Flory Badunga, guys that you would not expect maybe would leave a program like that to go other places. Flory also another guy going down to get some of that bourbon horse money down on the farm in Kentucky, Louisville. Yeah, so I mean it's happening to the major programs all over the country. Arizona's no exception. Although again, the Wildcats not necessarily losing any all-conference players this year like they did last year when Henry Vasar walked out the door and went down to Tobacco Road.
And Balo the year before, right?
And Balo.
And both for the same reason, because there was a guy coming who was probably going to take minutes from them. Yeah.
Right, exactly. 520-848-1290. Want your thoughts on that? 520-848-1290. We touched on that. We've touched on Diamondbacks. Suns are in the playoffs. It was really cool. I got to watch the Suns game on TV Thursday night here in Phoenix, the game that they lost. And was it Thursday night or Wednesday? It was Wednesday night. I think they played the Wednesday night game and lost in the first playoff game, so they had to go and play in the second playoff game against the Golden State Warriors. So I watched that game here, and then I had to go home to Philadelphia on some family business. So I got to watch the Sixers the next night in Philadelphia, and they too got into the postseason, although they won their 7-8 games, so they got in as the 7th seed and get a meeting with the rival Celtics.
Did you get a chance to go to that game?
I did not. No, I did not. I did not go to any sporting events while I was home.
You got to get a break in.
Yeah, there's too much family to see and things going on. So yeah, but
I was just going to ask if Tyrese Maxey is really as fast in person as he is on the TV. That's my only question.
He's fast. There's no question about that. I think they're more excited because the Phillies stink right now. They're awful. They're getting bombarded by pretty much everything. They're not as bad as the Mets, but they're pretty close right now. What is going on with Dragon Ball is about to join us here as well. He is in for cricket this week, so we'll get his name on there. Now,
man.
what is going on with the Mets right now? I know
My
your
dad's asking
like,
the same question.
Yeah, just say,
Probably
is your dad
losing
okay?
his
That's all you got to
mind.
do. That's his, just
Right
ask
now.
him.
I can tell you he's doing better because of the Flyers getting one up on my Penguins. But when it comes to baseball, this is the point of the year where he is officially going to stop watching. He will pick it back up at the All-Star break and see where the Mets are from that point because he's a
Was it
little bit frustrated.
10 in a row? Is that what I read?
10 straight, and needless to say, they have seemingly nobody that can play first base right now, which the Pete Alonso move is definitely the one where it's like, well, all the money you spent, you couldn't afford to bring that guy back.
And of course, I have Munoz. He's one of my relievers, and he couldn't shut the door yesterday. That was disappointing, but oh well.
Munoz with where?
I'm sorry, not Munoz. Williams. I have Williams.
Oh.
Devin Williams. I mean, Munoz is a reliever. Another reliever I have on another team. But yeah, I had Devin Williams. He couldn't shut the door yesterday, so that was a little disappointing as well. But yeah, they were way more excited about the Flyers in Philadelphia than I can't believe this is like the Flyers haven't been in the playoffs in 6 years.
It's
or something like that.
It's been 6 years for the Flyers and 4 years for the Pens. So this is the return for both Pennsylvania teams. And, of course, they have to make it the Keystone State Series here going into the first round.
Yeah, well, they were excited on Saturday night because the Lakers got a first-round upset. I guess you can consider the Flyers beating the Penguins an upset in the first game, right?
It is, yeah, considering that they're the kind of outlier of the Pacific Division. But at the same time, again, I think that the Flyers team is about a year ahead of their rebuild. They've got a lot of really good young talent. Mantrone is probably the guy that's going to be the quintessential player for them, depending how far they get in this playoff run and playoff runs moving forward. I wasn't sure how they were going to do what they got rid of Hart, but they certainly have enough goaltending, I think, to make a good
Quick
deep run in
question.
the Eastern Conference.
You grew up in Tucson. How is
Yes.
it you can pronounce Mantrone so well? Like your
That's an
hockey,
easy-
your
that's an
hockey
easy name,
fandom
isn't
is
it?
outrageous. No, I'm really more just saying like hockey is his number one love. Well, hockey and wrestling, but hockey.
Yes.
Growing up in Tucson and having hockey be your favorite thing ever, I just think that's great.
It's funny because watching the Penguins in the early years when they were getting back in the
When
in
they
the
were
fold
dominant.
with Sydney and stuff like that. I remember one guy that I had to practice his name to get it right, and it was a guy by the name of Ruslan Fedotenko, and Yarko Rutu was the other guy. I had to practice those pronunciations, and once I got them down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this for every guy moving forward because there was not going to be any stoppage of the European players coming to the NHL.
No.
And this guy is only 19 years old, this youngster? Wow.
That's what I
That's
mean.
impressive.
Is that they're very much ahead of schedule for the rebuild that they had intended, and they have a lot of talent, and that's why they're very scary for my Penguins.
And the Mammoth made their return, losing in Game 1 to the Vegas Golden Knights, so they will be...
It ain't nearly as bad as what the Buffalo Sabres pulled off against their playoff opponent. That was one of the greatest collapses I'd seen in a long time. All credit goes to Buffalo, but that game was fantastic in the first round.
Sabres got a Game 1 win over the Bruins, 4-3. Mammoth losing 4-2 in their opener. That was yesterday on the road in Vegas. We'll try to catch up. I know Jenna Fink, who was at News 4 Tucson, is on the road with the Mammoth for the postseason. We'll see if we can catch up with her tomorrow or Wednesday, get her on the show to find out what is happening with the Mammoth. The ex-Coyotes return to the postseason for real, not a COVID postseason, but a real Stanley Cup postseason for the first time since 2012. Lot happening here. Dragon Ball's in all week for cricket, getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruise and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We have an accident with injuries reported over at East Speedway Boulevard and North Beverly Avenue. A lot of backup here on Speedway, so try to avoid that spot right now if you can. And just a heads up, if you're traveling on the East Benson Highway going eastbound right now, we have reports of a crash on the left shoulder near East 46th Street. That one causing a lot of backup there as you try to go and get through East Benson Highway. Meanwhile, your weather currently sitting at 91 degrees, going to stay in the 90s for quite some time, eventually getting to about 87 once we get to sunset at 6. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brakemasters.
You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Brakemasters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Breakmasters. We give you an honest break.
Tune in this Thursday at 6 p.m. as Chip Hale and your Arizona Wildcats host the BYU Cougars for a 3-game series at High Corbett Field on your home for University of Arizona Athletics. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
The next 30 seconds could save you hundreds on your car insurance. At The Hartford, we're passionate about your protection. If you're 50 or over, AARP Auto Insurance from The Hartford gives you benefits that really matter. And you could save $597 when you switch. How's that for a little peace of mind? Visit trusthartford.com today. The Hartford, your protection is our passion. The Hartford Insurance Group, Inc. pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. Savings vary.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Prepare yourself. Something extraordinary is about to break loose right in the center of town. Get ready for Casino del Sol. Bigger, brighter, bolder. We are where excitement doesn't just rise, it erupts. We are where fun doesn't just elevate, it takes flight. We aren't just a casino. We are the beginning of a new era. We are Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
I'm Pat Boyle here to help you get close to Western One Sports. Cavs and the Raptors in Game 2 in Cleveland, and I think there's plenty of points again in this one. They smashed the over on Saturday, and that was for a 1 p.m. local start time. Sure, both teams shot really well, and the Raptors did a terrible job of forcing James Harden to his right. I'd expect some improvement in their game plan, but not enough to stay under. Cavs offense is too good. There were 63 combined free throws and only 5 fast break points, and the over cleared with ease. I'm on the over again tonight. I'm Pat Boyle. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
DK on the Sports Tip.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, U of A baseball, frustrating over the weekend.
Highs and lows, right?
A lot of highs and lows. I mean, so the Wildcats, we've been saying, the thing they've got to do is they've got to get in to the Big 12 tournament. That's the main thing, because they've got the pitching. I've said it a number of weeks. I'll continue to say it. They've got the pitching to win a short series, to win a short tournament. And we saw that on display this weekend, despite the fact that they lost 2 out of 3. I mean, you got to love baseball when you get your 2 best starting pitching performances of the weekend are the 2 games that you lost. And the game that you maybe did not, you got the third of those 3 starting pitching performances was the game that you won. And that was Sunday. I mean, Owen Kramkowski and Smith Bailey on Friday and Saturday night were just unbelievable. I mean, they were the Owen Kramkowski and Smith Bailey that we've been waiting to see all season long. Let's start with what Owen Kramkowski did on Friday night.
Both pitchers have found themselves in some early hot water here, and they both wiggled out of it. See if Kramkowski's already gotten out of the leadoff single, and now 2 out, bases empty, and a 1-2 pitch to Inoue. And here it is, and it's hit in the air to left. Here comes Kane in a hurry and makes a diving catch for out number 3, and the inning is over. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. High fastball at 93 from Kramkowski. His 3rd strikeout and a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 4th. See if he gets Gallagher to chase one outside. It's worked well tonight. Owen set, delivers. Strike 3 call. Painted the outside corner, and the inning is over. 1-0 the count to Madliak, and the pitch. Hit in the air, down the right field line. Late break for Dan Zeisen on the run, and out to make the catch is Lira with his back to the infield for out number 3. Dan Zeisen with a late break. Lira covered for him, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. No score.
When you're pitching well, you need some defense. And Owen Kramkowski got that, as you heard in those highlights, courtesy of Brian Jeffries, in that game on Friday night. 7 1/3 innings, 6 hits. He allowed 1 unearned run, just 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts through 92 pitches. He's now back-to-back fabulous starts for Owen Kramkowski.
Wow, that sounds like the best pitching performance for the Cats all weekend.
Not quite. We'll get to that. It was a zip game. Wildcats would score a run to take a 1-0 lead, but it was not a lead that they could hold.
There's the 0-1 now to Sylvester, and that's line to right. That's down for a base hit. That's going to hit for the gap. Here goes Kane on the run. He's headed for 3rd. They're going to wave him around 3rd. Headed for 3rd for a triple is Sylvester, and the Cats are ahead 1-0. So here we go. Kramkowski against Kennedy. Now, did you pitch around Kennedy here? I mean, that could very well be it. You load the bases then, put a force play at any base. See what Kramkowski does. The pitch inside, and it gets away, and in to score Gallagher, and we're tied at 1. Infield in. Here's Carl to the plate. First pitch, hit in the air. That should be enough to score. In to make the catch is Kane. His throw from right field won't be in time. And in to score will come Avasco, and Kansas State takes a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 9th inning. The pitch to Marat, hit towards the left, and Lotus back. He'll make the catch. Inning over, game over, and Kansas State takes game 1 here at High Corbett Field on a Friday night. For the Wildcats in the bottom of the 9th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Final score, Kansas State 2, Arizona 1.
2 runs, late, a run in the 8th, a run in the 9th, neither run scoring by way of a base hit. A pass ball ties the game, a sac fly puts Kansas State on top, and they win it 2-1 on a night when, again, your Friday night guy, Owen Kramkowski, was absolutely fabulous for 92 pitches, allowing just that one unearned run on 6 hits in 7 1/3 innings. So again, that not the way you want to start the weekend. That's a tough one. We had it. We got what we wanted, but we just, and again, it's the one consistent thing is this: there just has not been enough offense to go with this club so far this year. When they've had some nights like this where they've gotten really great pitching, they just have not had the offense to support it. Just 6 hits. You're asking a lot. That's asking a lot for your pitchers to hold a team to 2 runs, and you can't win a baseball game. That's really frustrating. Really frustrating. It got more frustrating on Saturday night because as good as Owen Kramkowski was on Friday, Smith Bailey was that much better.
Taro Inoue, transfer from Western Nebraska Community College, second year in a Kansas State uniform. And the pitch to him, swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's 1 away. With 2 strikes on Kendrick, and the pitch to him, swing and a miss, strike 3. Smith Bailey strikes out 3 in the inning. Nowitzki, who's playing second base, back on the right field grass, swing and a miss, strike 3. High fastball at 95. 4th strikeout now for Smith Bailey. Bailey set. Here comes a payoff pitch to Kennedy. Check swing. He went around. Yes, strike 3. And the inning is over. Smith Bailey has struck out the side in back-to-back innings. 3-2. Inoue. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 13 for Smith Bailey. He's gotten Inoue 3 times tonight. And here's the payoff pitch. And it's swung on and missed. Strike 3. Strikeout number 14 on the night for Smith Bailey. Open stance at the plate for A.J. Velasco in the 1-2 to the plate. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. 3rd time tonight that Smith Bailey has struck out the side.
6 innings for Smith Bailey. He faced just 3 above the minimum. The minimum number of batters you can face in 6 innings is 18. He faced 21 batters. 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 hit batter. He struck out 15. So that's 21 outs. Or 21 potential outs. And a total of 18 outs in 6 innings. 15 of those 18 outs for Smith Bailey were strikeouts. As dominant a starting performance as we have seen here, I've been here 18 years. I don't know that I have seen a starting performance, and I didn't see it because I was not there.
Bro, how about the first 9 outs? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a pitcher at any level, their first 9 outs recorded for the game were all strikeouts.
Yeah.
So he did give up a single in the first, struck out the side in the second, and then struck out the side again in the third with nobody reaching. So the first 9 outs recorded by the Cats were strikeouts by Smith Bailey.
15 Ks in 6 innings. Yeah, that's his. I've never seen anything. I've not seen anything like that at a lot of levels above college.
There's only one thing he did wrong. He didn't go 9 innings.
Right, exactly. That is true. He did not go 9 innings. Although the Wildcats would give him the lead in the 5th.
2-1 the count to McIntyre. Sheffield delivers. Hit high in the air to left field. Back on that one, low dice. At the track, at the wall. It's out of here. Carson McIntyre with his 8th home run. And Arizona takes a 1-0 lead.
So 1-0 Arizona after 6. Chip Hale makes the decision. That's it for Smith Bailey at 99 pitches. He takes him out of the ball game. And there's this term in baseball, that it goes like this. Your bullpen imploded. That's what happened in the 7th and 8th innings.
How much of a factor do you think that is in college? Like where you're sitting there and you're watching, and the starter DK has 15 strikeouts through 6 innings, right? And it's you get the call from the skipper to come in and try to add on to that.
Yeah. And I say 8 innings because it got so bad they didn't even play the 9th inning. 3 in the 7th for Kansas State. 8 runs in the 8th. These are what we like to call lowlights.
Nowitzki shading towards that second base bag, trying to keep Slominski close. Here's the pitch. Hit deep to left field, and you can forget about this one. A home run for English, and just like that, Kansas State has a 3-1 lead. 1-2 pitch here, hit in the air to left field. Back on that one is Adams. Still going back at the track at the wall, and that's a grand slam for D. Kennedy.
7 of those 11 runs coming on 2 swings of a bat. And 11-1 win, run rule win in 8 innings for Kansas State. In a game on a night when Smith Bailey struck out 15 in 6 innings.
That sentence doesn't make any sense to me, right? You get run ruled in a game where your starter goes 6 innings and strikes out 15.
Yeah. If you were there, I want to hear from you. 520, because that alone is like no college baseball game I think we've had here in Tucson in the 18 years I've been here, where you have such a dramatic swing of things from one side to the other. I don't remember any games like that where one team was so dominant for the first half of the game, and then the other team for 2 innings was the exact opposite of that. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program.
There was that weird Stanford game the other year, right?
Ooh.
Where Stanford had like an 8-run lead.
Yeah.
And ended up being like 20-19 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a weird one.
The good news is that the Wildcats came back and avoided the sweep on Sunday, winning 11-7. They got 2 RBI performances by Andrew Kane, Maddox Michalakis, Cash Brennan. All drove in a pair of runs. Decent but not great pitching from Luke Flotta and Colin McKinney, who combined to give up 6 runs. But again, your offense showed up on Sunday, so it didn't matter. You got to win out of it. The Wildcats are tied for 12th right now. They got to be in that top 12. They're tied for 12th with Texas Tech. Texas Tech has lost 5 consecutive games in the Big 12. I don't think we played Texas Tech. We took 2 out of 3, they took 2 out of 3 from us. They came here that weekend that we were in San Diego for the NCAA tournament. So Texas Tech has the tiebreaker currently, although they're playing pretty bad baseball as well right now. Still time to claim that spot. BYU comes to town. Again, it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series this week. BYU does not play sports on Sundays, so it'll be Thursday, Friday, 6 p.m., Saturday, noon start time out at High Corbett Field this weekend.
4 series left. A lot of baseball to be
4
played.
series left, intermixed with a game against Grand Canyon. But like you said, conference-wise, you got 12 games left to kind of secure that 12 spot. The thing of it is again, I think you want to get in. I say you want to get in because this pitching staff can maybe get you. But if you get in as one of those lower seeds, you're going to have to win 5 consecutive games. I think it's 5 games to get is how it works.
They call it the Kemba.
Yeah, it would almost be like the Big 12 basketball tournament where you'd have to win 5 days in a row. Maybe a little bit easier to do in baseball because you got different guys pitching every day, but still not an easy task if you're playing from one of those lower seed positions. But again, Arizona's the kind of team that they're if any of those teams that would get into that bottom part of the bracket, I think Arizona is built for that type of situation better than most college baseball teams. So we'll see. But you got to continue to win, and that was real tough, giving away 2 games this weekend where you got absolutely dominant starting pitching performances. Get in on that. Want to hear your thoughts if you were there this weekend. 520-848-1290. Dragon Ball is in for cricket. She's on vacation this week. We were on vacation last week. Cricket's on vacation this week because we don't know how to schedule things in sync here.
It always happens like that, doesn't it?
Something like that, for sure. Dragon Ball getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives. He's got your traffic and your weather.
The Cruz & Associates Personal Injury Attorney Traffic Center. This is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We have accident with possible injuries at East Pima Street and North Alamo Avenue. This is east of Sahuarita Avenue, so be prepared for some backup on Pima. And reminder that today the I-10 Tangerine Road off-ramp is closed on eastbound I-10. And this is going to be happening through today through May the 1st. Travelers can use Marana, Outer Valley, Twin Peaks off-ramps instead. If your weather's still at 91 degrees, dropping all the way down to 76 here at 9. I'm Dragon Ball, the Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brakemasters.
You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Brakemasters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brakemasters. We give you an honest break.
Progressive Commercial Insurance protects truck owners with specialized coverages for heavy trucks. Switch to America's #1 commercial truck insurer. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Breaking news for your home. Way Day. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Way Day long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Way Day. Shop Wayfair's Way Day from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care and a community of grateful Wildcat fans as we say thank you and congratulations to Coach Lloyd and our Arizona Wildcats on a record 36 wins, Big 12 championship, and a trip to the Final Four. Thank you for another great year. For nearly 6 decades, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care has been an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. We've seen a long history of Wildcat teamwork and excellence. And we know Arizona drivers are counting on that same kind of service for their car's next championship drive to work, school, or back home again. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care will be there with affordable tires and award-winning service at 14 area locations. This month, we've got an entire page of online savings for Wildcat fans. Check out jackfurriers.com/bear down and save up to $140 on the tire brands you love, like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal, and even more championship savings on automotive service. Stop by, call ahead, or make an appointment online. We're ready to help. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Swing into spring with $145,000 in cash and prizes only at Casino Del Sol. Every week, you could win up to $1,000 in free play and win an invitation to the grand finale on May 29th, where $20,000 in cash and prizes is up for grabs. Don't strike out. Stop by for your free daily entry ticket and get in on the action. Join us for drawings every Friday and Sunday at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. only at Casino Del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Busy week. I mean, a really busy week. That's why we took last week off, because this week there's a lot going on. It's like the calm before the storm. It's the final week of spring football for your Arizona Wildcats. And we've got the spring showcase that will be coming up on Saturday at the stadium. There's even a concert that's kind of happening after that. What's the guy's name that's performing? Sprawny something, or I've never heard of him. So there you go. But I'm sure his music is really, really good. The concert will start at 7:30. The festivities will get going about 5 o'clock. We're going to do a show live from the spring showcase on Saturday. Spawn Breezy is his name. Have you heard of Spawn Breezy, J-Dub?
I have now.
No, yeah. Reggae musician.
Reggae, I was super into
Spawn
reggae in my
Breezy.
20s, like everybody else
Yeah.
my age,
Oh, yeah.
because the Bob Marley Legend album came out in the early 90s, and everybody was into that. But no, I do not know modern. I'm not familiar with Spawn Breezy.
Okay. He'll be on the stage at 7:30. Football practice at 6. We'll be on the air from 5 to 7. There'll be a photo op with the team and the Territorial Cup at 7:15. I'm sure, again, it's going to be much like last year. It's not a traditional spring game anymore. It'll be a glorified practice. They'll do some things, and the field will be split between where the players are, where the kids are, the on-field beer garden, the kids zone, and all of that. But it'll still be a rockin' good time to celebrate Arizona football. So we've got that coming up on Saturday. Wednesday, we're back at Showtime Cards this week. So join us out there on Speedway. We'll break some boxes. So I have two younger brothers who are just now starting to have children. So I have young, pre-5-year-old nieces and nephews now. And so we were watching, I guess, initially I thought it was Japanese anime, but it was actually South Korean anime. And I forget the name of this. I think it was called Teeny Fing or something of that nature. I mean, it was Teeny Ping. It's called Catch Teeny Ping. It's South Korean anime. And my two baby nieces, both females. I have 3 female nieces and 1 male niece. Or 1 male nephew.
Right.
One
male nephew.
Yeah. Teeny Ping was the program of choice. I didn't. It was very interesting, but we've talked a little bit about that because we have some of the boxes we broke over at Showtime Cards were of the Japanese anime or the Asian anime, because I guess all the countries out there do the anime. And we broke some boxes of that. So I don't know, I'm wondering, so that's one of the things I'll have to ask our guy, George Maurice, is if this Teeny Ping that I watched 7 straight episodes of on Friday night is if they have their own box that we can break. And maybe I'll get that and I'll send that to my nieces who were all just enamored with this particular show.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, I've been in animation for 35 years, and I love the old school, like Ninja Scroll and Akira and that kind of stuff. But One Piece is the one that's going to be really popular right now because they just wrapped up They just finished season 2 on Netflix of the live action version of that. So, but as far as 5-year-old girls and what animes they're watching, I'm not so sure that I would be familiar personally with those because again, there are thousands of different shows to choose from these days and different, comics to choose from.
It was very interesting because the main character Romy was in her hair was pink, and she was the good character. And then her nemesis, I don't remember what the nemesis character's name, but her hair was purple. And so it was kind of hard to tell them apart.
I'm surprised you guys didn't watch K-pop Demon Hunters because that was the one like a year and a half ago now, I think, that kind of like set the world on fire. I think they set the records for the most watched Netflix movie ever.
So if your daughter or granddaughter or niece watches Teeny Ping, and you've sat through 6 or 7 episodes in a row of that, I'd love to hear from you today. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290.
I think the follow-up question is, was this quality time with the 5-year-old nieces,
well, they
or
weren't
was
paying
this
any
you
attention
getting
to me.
super into Teeny Ping and just needing to know where the plot was going?
Exactly. Well, that was a little bit of both of that. They weren't paying any attention to me at that point. Once Teeny Ping came on, the focus was on my dad's 80-inch television. I was like, Dad, that is the biggest TV I think I've ever seen in my life.
Attention spans for 5-year-olds 20 years ago is bad, and nowadays not much. Because it's the ability to put a phone or a tablet or whatever in front of a kid really early in life these days. But I think those shows are really marketed well, and those shows have a lot of elements that are very interesting for a lot of different. And again, there's so many subcategories and genres. That's not something we need to get into. But as far as what 5-year-olds and young people would be watching, it's really amazing to me. It's kind of started with Pokemon and stuff in the 90s. I mean, actually, before that, there was Transformers and all those things in the late 80s. Those are all, Japanese as well. But more modern. I mean, it's really kind of taken over. All the youth, all they're into is anime these days.
So, and maybe the funniest part of it was, so my sister was there too. She's a year older than me. And so she was watching it with us. And there was this one episode where this young man comes into the picture. And my sister was like, oh, he's got an afro. He was like a light skin. So, again, this is South Korean anime. You don't expect to see a guy with an afro show up. He was like the real light skin afro character. And I said, well, of course. You can't have South Korea. So I looked over to her and I said, you can't have South Korean anime without a light skinned brother with an afro.
Got you.
So there you go. That was my weekend, folks, in Philadelphia, hanging out with the nieces and the nephews, watching Catch Teeny Ping, South Korean anime. So I digress because we will be back at Showtime Cards on Wednesday. We'll ask George Mariz if he has any Catch Teeny Ping cards, boxes that we can break open, or maybe some other South Korean anime that is popular now. I would not know what is popular.
Catch.
Catch. I said catch.
No, but there's an exclamation point.
Oh, yeah,
there's
catch.
an exclamation point there. Yeah. I think
Catch
it
Teeny
means
Ping.
catch this kind of thing. Yeah.
Catch Teeny Ping.
Yeah.
And then Thursday is the beach volleyball. The Big 12 beach volleyball tournament is here in Tucson this year. So we're going to be out there at Bear Down Beach on Thursday for that. We don't know what the Wildcats seeding is, I think, just yet. We should probably find that out here in the next couple of days. They've been playing pretty well, actually. I think they went down to New Orleans this past week and did some winning. They're 22-8 on the season, although they only went 1-6 in conference play. So I think they're not probably going to be. I think they have. Okay, so so they'll play Texas Christian at. So the Wildcats are going to play at 10:15 on Thursday, and then they'll play again at 12:45 against Arizona State. So that'll be the two matches they'll play, and obviously you got to win to move on to play on Friday. But we'll be down at the Big 12 Beach Volleyball Tournament at Bear Down Beach on Thursday for all of the action. Do you remember we went over this, J-Dub, before we left on vacation? Do you remember the teams that play beach volleyball?
I don't.
No.
I don't remember all those teams. No, I don't remember the teams that have crew either.
No, we did talk about crew.
I do know that there's something else going on Thursday, though.
What would that be?
That would be the NFL draft.
Oh, yes. you are correct. The NFL draft is on Thursday. We'll dive maybe into that a little bit later in the week as well.
We can wait and see which names we recognize and where they get called.
I did hear Joe Salovea was talking about it over the weekend. I think he was off for Arizona football, obviously, is in spring practice. And I think he spoke on Saturday, and he said that any of the teams that get Genesis Smith or Trayden Stukes or Dalton Johnson are getting absolutely A-plus people into their locker rooms. He said when he was a veteran player, those kids with that mentality were the kind of kids that he wanted his teams to draft.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching those three's career as it moves forward. Just like, watching T-Mac last year with his first season with the Panthers, I think all three of those guys have potential to get into a depth chart and figure out. And then it's just maybe one injury, DK, and you get on the field, and next thing you know, you'll never get off that field. So anything can happen. Looking forward to seeing where those guys end up.
And so then Thursday we'll be out at beach volleyball, and then Friday we'll be out at High Corbett Field, Arizona, game 2 of the series between Arizona and BYU as the Wildcats try to make their move to get a higher seed and secure a spot in the Big 12 baseball tournament. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week we are on location, bringing you the best of Arizona athletics and South Korean anime trading cards at
One-stop
Showtime
shop.
Cards.
You get it all here, right?
You get everything. That's why you never want to miss a moment. You miss a minute, you miss a lot. DK on the Sports Tip is the name of the show. 520-848-1290 is the phone number. That is also the text number. You can watch the show on YouTube. We are streaming it on our YouTube channel, Wildcats Radio 1290.com. And what are they? I don't ever do this because I just I watch enough shows on YouTube that it drives me crazy that people say hit the like button, hit subscribe, and all that. But if you want to subscribe, feel free to do so. According to JDub, our subscription numbers have gone up a lot in the last 3 years.
Well, not according to me. Paige is the one who tracked it, and she told me it was something like 180 when you took over, and it's like 1,300 now.
Okay.
Like
13K would be better, but I'll take 13.
I haven't checked recently. Yeah, no, the like and subscribe thing started 20 years ago.
Really?
So that's
that long ago?
Yeah.
I didn't even know YouTube had been around that
Yes,
long.
YouTube has been around that long.
Jeez.
And so I think the tired nature of a DK is just you get inundated nonstop. But as always, people always say, what it does is helps with the algorithm. And nowadays there are so many different people putting content out there. So if you do like the show and you like or comment or whatever, it just helps other people find it. That's how that works.
So hit the like, hit the subscribe, and do all that on our YouTube channel. We're also on Twitch. If you want to go over and watch the show over there, you can do so as well. Maybe I have not put up a link yet on Twitter, and you can click that link and watch our YouTube because we don't stream on Twitter because they want to charge people we don't pay to get on to stream our show. We don't need to do that. And Facebook, I'm still locked out of Facebook, so we're not over there.
Valentine's Day 05 is when YouTube launched.
Is that right?
Yep.
Wow.
Valentine's
Day 05.
2005.
That was probably the last time I was in Indianapolis. I was at the Combine, I think, in February of 2000. Well, that would have been maybe a little bit the week before because that's probably Super Bowl week, if I'm not mistaken. I went after. Okay, cool. Awesome. That's been 21 years. Wow. I don't think I even got it or started watching it until much later than that. All right, we'll come back. We'll take your calls. We'll get into what the Suns are doing. We're going to talk some Suns basketball with Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic. He is in Oklahoma City. We'll talk to him about the game yesterday, what the Suns' chances are. Maybe we'll even ask him about whether he thinks Steve Kerr is going to be back as the head coach at Golden State. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Cruz & Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center. This is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. We have a couple accidents with injuries. First one over at East Golf Links Road and South Cove Road. All directions grinding to a stop at that one. And another crash at North Campbell Avenue and East 9th Street. This one north of Broadway, but a majority of the slowdown you're going to find here is going to be on southbound Campbell as you get towards that crash. Meanwhile, for your weather, still going to be at 91 degrees here for the next hour before we start getting our cool down at sunset. I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
In Tucson, a lot of people make their living on construction sites, on the road, or working in warehouses across town. If you're injured at work, you have rights. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz & Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
This report is sponsored by the Hartford Auto Insurance.
Wait until you hear this. You could save hundreds by switching to AARP Auto Insurance from The Hartford. Visit trusthartford.com. The Hartford, your protection is our passion. The Hartford Insurance Group, Inc. pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. Savings vary.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Rats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya. Hooray! That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Everyone loves a backyard barbecue, but who has the time? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire in Oro Valley and Catalina. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and our neighbors for years, and we still get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. In Oro Valley, you'll discover bold, smoky brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and many creative dishes, paired with local craft beers on tap and specialty cocktails. Fork and Fire, your neighborhood backyard barbecue, where great food meets good times and strong community. Join us today at Fork and Fire, Oro Valley, and in Catalina.
Average doesn't grow your business. Smart Strategy does. Cumulus digital campaigns outperform industry benchmarks by over 25%. You're not average, and your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com today to leave average behind.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Tune to DK on the Sports Tip weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at iccu.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Suns got into the postseason. It was not easy. They lost their first play-in game. and had to go in the back way win the 8th seed, doing so, beating the Golden State Warriors, knocking Steve Kerr and the Dubs out of the playoffs for the second time in 3 years that the Warriors will not be playing in the postseason. So there's a lot of talk on what's next for that regime. We're going to get into that in this hour because I put out a post over the weekend and it got a ton of response to it. So we'll dive into that. Suns played Friday night, had a quick turnaround, and had to play Sunday afternoon on the road in Oklahoma City against the number 1 seed, and it did not go all that well.
Another missed three, batted out by Godoro. Brooks will try it again. This one's good. Many of the Thunder starters have not played in about 11 days. They did not play the last couple games of the regular season. Great pass by Gilgeous-Alexander. His third assist. Caruso with the finish. Here's SGA with 5 seconds to go in the half. Gilgeous-Alexander puts the brakes on. Now starts again. Drives and scores with the left hand. Booker trying to get unlocked, but so hard against multiple defenders. Brooks with 2, takes it, rejected by Jalen Williams. This does have a different feel as that's poked away from Green. Williams with the slam in transition. The Thunder will be the second team ever to win playoff openers by 30 or more points in consecutive years. The Lakers did it in 1986, 1987. They keep setting records. Another historic day for the Thunder as they roll the Suns 119-84 to take a 1-0 series lead.
Dave Pasch, the voice of the Arizona Cardinals, also a voice of NBA on ESPN. The call there, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 25 points. He didn't shoot the ball very well at all. 5 of 18, although he went to the line 17 times. And made 15.
That's what he does.
Yeah. The big stat, though, was the turnovers. The 19 turnovers by the Suns, which the Thunder got 34 of their points out of. It was almost the exact opposite of what had happened Friday night in Phoenix when the Suns turned over the Warriors and got 30 points of their own. I mean, that's kind of what the Suns have been doing all year long at the defensive end of the floor. But the Thunder... J-Dub turned it on their head in game number 1.
Well, remember 3 years ago, I was talking about the Thunder because of just that, DK, because of their drafting, because they drafted, Cason Wallace and the 2 Jalen Williams, but especially J-Dub, going along with Shai, and then they got Alex Caruso, and that was the big one at the start of last season, if you might remember, talking about just the sheer number of all-NBA first-team defenders they had on the perimeter. And so when you've got 3 or 4 guys who can be considered to be all NBA perimeter defenders, you don't necessarily have to worry about those high ball screens with guys like Devin Booker, because whoever they get switched off on is going to be able to stay in front of D-Book and be able to challenge him. They've got length, strength, all of that stuff. And they play a bit of a Legion of Boom style. So I think it's more like Jordan Ott is trying to do what Oklahoma City has been doing for the last 3 seasons. Clearly that's a style he really likes, is turning aggressive defense into offense, but nobody does it better. I honestly, DK, have not seen a better perimeter defense in the NBA since the late 90s Bulls. I mean, this OKC team, and they get away with a little. The refs call the game totally different now than they did back then. There's no hand checking, obviously, and they hand check a lot. So, I mean, if the refs let them get away with it, they're going to get their 19-20 steals. They're going to turn those. And Shai is just a one-man wrecking crew. There's guys on the team who can step up and knock shots down. But when you're talking about the big 3, Shai, Jalen Williams, J-Dub, and Chet Holmgren, obviously those 3 guys individually can go get their own, but it's their defense. It's truly their defense that's leading them towards 30-point wins for back-to-back seasons in the opening game, and why they're the favorite to cut down the nets again this year.
19-2 run early really turned this game on its head for the Thunder. Suns went 6 minutes without a field goal at the end of the first quarter. Missed 8 consecutive shots during that stretch right there. Let's hear a little bit from Devin Booker after the game about the Game 1 loss, 119-84 on the road against Oklahoma City.
Devin, a game like this, you've been in this before where you drop a game and then get ready for game 2. How important are these next, say, 48 hours to get ready for a game 2 after a loss like this?
Yeah, I think we have obviously some things to learn from. We have some film, definitely different than the regular season matchups. You know, we're both majority healthy, so spend these next few days breaking down film and see where we can be better.
You've talked before about how they can speed you up, but how big was that tonight, and how do you clean that part of it up? Because that's obviously a factor in the turnovers.
Yeah, we need to get a shot on goal. I think we had 18 turnovers, and they had 19 offensive boards too. So, that's a recipe for disaster for us.
Last thing I had was, looking at Shea, we all know what he's about, but Jalen Williams, how important is it to corral that a little bit, because he's someone that he can get his when Shea's not on the court, and then when Shea is, Shea draws attention and Jalen gets one-on-ones.
Yeah, he had a hell of a playoffs last year. Watched it really closely, watched him in the finals, had a 40 ball in the finals, so everybody's a threat on their team. Obviously Shea's the head of the snake, but he creates a lot of opportunities and allows them to have a lot of space to play free. So, we loaded up on Shea tonight, showed him a lot of bodies, and, he was able to create opportunities for his teammates too.
You talked about, obviously, the difference in playing this team in the regular season in the playoffs. Could you expound more on that specifically, and just how that physicality is kind of carried over in the postseason setting?
Yeah, they're the champs for a reason. I'm sure those guys take the regular season game serious, but, they feel like this is the time of the year, and, they're trying to go for it again. So, we just have to stay composed. Like I said, get a shot on goal every time down. Don't turn it over. I think that feels everything, feels them, feels the crowd, and, can turn into a domino effect.
All right, that was Devin Booker after the ball game last night. Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic asking those questions. He is going to join us on the show coming up after this next break. Devin yesterday afternoon, 23 points and 6 rebounds in the contest. The Suns as a team went 13 for 39 from 3, but overall just could not keep up with the 19 turnovers and lose the game by 35 points. They get 2 days off, today and tomorrow, before they come back on Wednesday night for Game 2. As the playoffs are underway, any surprises early that stand out to you, J-Dub? Obviously, the Lakers get a Game 1 win.
That was very surprising.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody thought, because, with Luka and Austin Reeves out, LeBron is 60 years old? But sure enough, LeBron played like he was in his mid-20s again. He wasn't jumping as high as he always does. But as far as being the focal point and the guy who can do a little bit of everything and be, that real gravity on the offensive end, and then just doing all the little things on the defensive end, he was a catalyst. In our guy Ayton, DeAndre Ayton really played well. Şengün is no joke, and so outplaying Şengün is a big deal. I was surprised by that result without a doubt.
I saw one, and you mentioned obviously DeAndre Ayton, 35 minutes, 19 points, 8 of 10 from the field, 11 rebounds.
Good defense, too.
Yeah, I saw one headline that says that the one gentleman believes he's the if the Lakers are going to go deep, it's going to be because of DeAndre Ayton and the way he plays.
And come on, it's not about can he, it's about will he every single possession, every single night. And that's the most frustrating kind of guy to root for, or have a team where that guy's a focal point on your team, DK, because we all know what DeAndre Ayton could be 2010 literally every time he steps onto a basketball court. Laker fans are finding out what Portland fans and Suns fans found before that, is that this season's been a lot of ups and downs. He's had some very good games, but he is, again, the 4th or 5th option on a healthy Lakers team. Luka's Luka's leading the league in scoring, 9 assists. Austin Reeves is like a 25-10 guy. So Ayton just needs to rebound and score around the rim.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Game 1's Cavaliers beat the Raptors. They'll play Game 2 tonight. In fact, that game is underway. I got to get it up on my TV here, see how my Cavs are doing tonight. Nuggets beat the Timberwolves in Game 1. Not a lot of surprises except for maybe that Lakers win. Knicks also won in game 1. And then yesterday, Thunder, Celtics big over the Sixers by 30-plus points. Maybe the other surprise was the Magic beating the Pistons.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the one thing is the Pistons only have the one series playoff. Those guys, like, they're all very young. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, those guys haven't really gone through this playoff run more than just last season. And so as good a year as they had, I mean, they were the best team in the East, start to finish. I was surprised to see them drop that first game versus Orlando, but Orlando just played really, really well. Paolo Banchero's not been playing well these last few weeks. Played really well, the Wagner guys, all that. So Orlando, also Jalen Suggs. Shout out Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. He played really well in that game to lead the Magic to that 1-0 lead over the Pistons.
Spurs back in the playoffs. They get their win in game 1.
Speaking of which, did you hear what just happened?
Just happened.
About an hour ago, Victor Wembanyama was named Defensive Player of the Year.
Ooh.
The first ever unanimous Defensive Player of the Year in the history of the NBA.
Wow. Ever.
Never been a unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. Wemby just got that today.
But did you see him bring the ball up the floor,
Bro,
and then take Vita off the drive?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, the double take thing. Well, I do a double take. I've been watching basketball, for 40 plus years, and I do a double take every time Victor Wembanyama's on the court because he plays like he's a 6'4" guard, and he's legitimately 7'5" and more fluid than any 7-foot guy I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, he's crazy.
Denny Advia.
Denny.
Say that 10 times fast. Let's hear from Rick. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, guys. How are you? I got a couple of quick comments. One, Wembanyama was, beyond unbelievable last night. So I don't know what more you can say. He's a space alien. They're going to have to raise the rim if guys like him keep coming in the league. And the fluidity which he shot the three was got to scare the hell out of everyone in the NBA, because if you got to go out and cover him, then what? Anyway,
did you see that one baseline three where he was like fading towards the left corner baseline, and everybody on the bench just like put their hand over their mouths because they couldn't believe it?
Yeah, no, he's amazing. He really is. As far as DeAndre, look, he is who he is. I think he got a little bit of a bad rap in Phoenix, and bluntly, they were an alley-oop away from winning the championship against Milwaukee. And to me, the big mistake that year was they had no backup point guard for Chris Paul. So when he went out, they couldn't run their pick and roll. And guess who was available that year? T.J. McConnell, who they should have gone out and got. One more quick comment. I'm a longtime U of A guy, like lifelong. And as far as sports satisfaction this year, it's pretty high with the U of A for men's basketball and football. And I got to say, the athletic director to me seems to be doing a hell of a job, unlike the guy before her, who thank God he's not here any longer.
Oh, come on now. You don't like Dave Hickey? Dave Hickey was at the Final Four. I wish I could have gotten a chance to chat with Dave Hickey. I was so happy to see pictures of him there hanging out with the Wildcat brethren. Look, Dave is one of the reasons why Tommy's here, and Desiree has done an unbelievable job of bringing this program out of the financial depth that it was in. I think there's positives that you can find from both of them.
Look, I don't want to beat the guy to heck. He's not here anymore. No pun intended. But he should have retained Jed Fisher. That's the biggest job an AD has, and it was clear everyone was going to come after him, and that's a whole different story. Like the show, go Cats.
Thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Rick.
Chiming in. All right, we're going to talk some more Suns. We're going to get a conversation here with our guy, Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic. Dragon Ball is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives. He's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz & Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcat Trail 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. The 5th Street Improvement Project between Country Club and Wilmot still ongoing. This should be done by mid-2027, but crews currently are milling and paving the south side of 5th Street between Country Club and Alvernon until 5 p.m. today. Again, the milling and paving will be followed by construction on the center lane, but this section should be done by October. Meanwhile, for your weather, still sitting at 91 degrees. We'll be getting ready to hit 90 here in the next hour. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcat Trail 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Brakemasters.
You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Brakemasters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brakemasters. We give you an honest break.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we were talking about? The kids who actually have the money to go out there and play tennis. Why haven't we produced any of them? DK on the Sports Tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and we've already experienced hot weather. Is your air conditioner ready for the long hot summer? For the month of April, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing will be offering a $99 home wellness plan for all new customers. This includes your spring maintenance, fall maintenance, and a plumbing maintenance. Call now 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockschooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Clicks don't show the full picture, but Cumulus Digital does. We show you exactly who saw your ad by name and address, and our campaigns beat industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com today to start outperforming.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Swing into spring with $145,000 in cash and prizes only at Casino Del Sol. Every week, you could win up to $1,000 in free play and win an invitation to the grand finale on May 29th, where $20,000 in cash and prizes is up for grabs. Don't strike out. Stop by for your free daily entry ticket and get in on the action. Join us for drawings every Friday and Sunday at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. only at Casino Del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
Everyone loves to get together for food, fun, and sports. But what's the best spot? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire, Catalina, and Oro Valley. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and for our neighbors for years, and we get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. At our Catalina Grill, you'll love the elevated bar fare and barbecue, served in our relaxed and fun neighborhood grill. Fork and Fire Catalina, where great food meets good times and a strong community. Bring everyone on down to Fork and Fire in Catalina and Oro Valley.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, game one did not go as planned for the Suns, who are in the playoffs against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Game two, still a couple days away, and that might be the good thing, with the quick turnaround from beating the Warriors Friday night to having to go into Oklahoma City and play again on a Sunday. Let's chat some Suns basketball. Dwayne Rankin covers the team for the Arizona Republic. He joins us now from Oklahoma City. Dwayne, appreciate a few minutes with you. It was actually almost a stark difference from what we saw Friday night when the Suns used their defense to create turnovers and score on that from the Warriors to what we saw Sunday in Game 1 when the Thunder scored 34 off 19 Suns turnovers. How did you just kind of assess the quick turnaround and how Game 1 went for Phoenix?
What really showed was how, if they would have won Tuesday, the time they would have had in between games. Losing to Portland put them in a situation where they had to play on Friday. And then you have the quick turn, obviously, playing Sunday in an early game. It's been done before. Teams have had to deal with it. So the Suns aren't the first one to be in this situation. But bottom line is that's not the reason they lost the game. You turn the ball over the way they did, and the Thunder, that just fuels what they do, and it's been that way for them all year. And then on top of that, if you just think about the fact that the Thunder shot 30% from three and still won by 35 points, that just shows you what kind of game it was, just based on numbers. But the Suns started off decent, beginning the game, and then it just went south in stages. There was a 17-2 run there in the second quarter that I thought really opened the game up for the Thunder, and they just took off from there, and they were up by as many as 39.
The positive, Dwayne, obviously, is nobody thought the Suns were going to be in this position. I mean, we did a poll at the beginning of the season, and I think most people thought the win total would be between 25 and 30, and the playoffs wouldn't even be something we would be even possibly thinking about or talking about. But this team was able to really come together in year one under Jordan Ott. A tone was set with the acquisition of Dylan Brooks that made this maybe more of a defensive focused team that helped them get to where they are. When did you kind of begin to see that? Was that something you saw early on? Was that this team is going to be a whole lot better than I think what people thought it was going to be?
People forget they started 1-4.
Yeah.
Like, it was like you're watching, you're going, well, okay, this is pretty much what was expected. And then had some good wins in November. And then when Jalen Green got hurt again in November, I believe it was against the Clippers, then you're going, okay, what's going on with this group, and the injuries, and which was a story all year. But I thought in January, at least for me, January, when they had a strong January, I thought, okay, this team has a chance to make the playoffs. Before then, I thought, okay, they could have a better year than predicted. But then when they had the strong run in January, I'm like, okay, this team has a chance to really to make some noise as far as getting to the playoffs. And they struggled there, and probably why they ended up 7th, because they just had some bad losses that them games they should have won in March. And but to get to the playoffs after the way the season was supposed to go as far as predictions, and I had them winning those 38 games. So clearly they won more games than what I thought they would win. But again, you got to give Ott credit. Brooks obviously has been a huge factor in what they've done, and the others, as Steph Curry mentioned after the game, the Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwins, guys like that came through and got opportunities to play because of injuries, and ended up being major contributors to the team. So it's been a collective, no doubt, for them to get to this point. You have to give, the building the team and to Gregory and Ishbia for making a hire, and that hire was scrutinized. The Ott hire was scrutinized. The Gregory hire was scrutinized, like they just hired these Michigan State guys, and turned out to work. So a lot of kudos to be spread around for the Suns.
Dwayne Rankin is our guest, covers the Phoenix Suns for the Arizona Republic. We like to do polls, and I mentioned that at the top with the wins. One of the polls we did was how many games Jalen Green would play in this season. Could he get to 25 games down the stretch to really maybe put himself in a position where he could be an impact? in the postseason. He got to 32 games, and he had the big game, obviously, in the play-in. How did they take him away? Was it just a matter of it wasn't just a good shooting night in game one, or did you see things that the Thunder were doing that kind of took him out of his game on Sunday?
The Thunder have multiple guys that can guard people. That's the first thing. So when they switch, you're not getting an advantage, so to speak. And so the other times, Green maybe would get an advantage. I thought that there were times he tried to get to the rim and lost control of the ball. The Thunder have been criticized for being, quote, handsy, how they guard people. And so, take some adjusting, which is why, you had Jalen Green after the game saying, hey, look, let's call it both ways. And everyone knows Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is top 3, if not the best guy in the league at drawing fouls. So you can't do the comparison with him because of the number he gets. Now, granted, 17 attempts, that's a lot. But I think for Jalen, it's got to be more of shot selection and taking 7 threes. I think sometimes you get when you hit 8 threes in the last game, and you're gonna come out that next game seeing if you can continue that. It's like a heat check over 2 to 3 days, and it wasn't there. And so I think that sometimes it's a matter of figuring out other ways to score. I think he maybe got away from the mid range a little bit, which helped him in both of those games that he had, the 30+. So it's mixing it up for him. And then, there got to be some proper spacing around, too. And so with him, Devin, and Dylan, it's been interesting watching how this works. And there are moments when all 3 of them are really got it going, but it's been rare. It's usually 2 of them on the court when one of them really gets going, whether it's Green or Devin or Dylan. So can they make it work where all 3 got it going at the same time to really put pressure on the defense? So that's a curious part of where they are. But Green, I think it was part shot selection, part OKC being very good on the defensive end. I mean, they're the best in the league, and they've been it for 2 years in a row, and they've been top 3 the last 3 years. So it's not a coincidence that guys go in there playing one way and then the game is over and you're asking yourself why. Well, because they're pretty darn good.
Jordan Goodwin goes out early with the injury. You got a couple days, obviously, to rest that. What do you sense is going to be the status for him moving forward?
Well, he's going to try to play. He's going to try to play. At least he's going to try to show something tomorrow in practice to show the coaches they let me play.
Yeah.
I saw him as he left, and I just asked him how he was doing. He said he's doing all right. So, but he's kind of got that Devin thing going where, I've joked about this a lot, that if I had a nickel for every time Devin Booker told me he was fine after he got hurt, I'd be rich. That's the same thing with Jordan Goodwin. I'm good. No, you're not good. But no, he's going to try. He's going to do everything he can to get ready to play, and so if it's on his terms, he'll be out there. Now he's been wearing that sleeve on his calf, so this is a recurring deal. So we'll see how he, again, rest today, as you guys just said, practice tomorrow, see how he feels. And then they'll make a determination. Probably be a game time deal. But if he gets out on the floor, I would not be surprised if he tried to play. But those aren't easy to get over, and because if it was, he would have got over it earlier.
Dwayne, if the Suns become the latest 8 to be a 1, it will be because they did what? Besides win 4 games.
Well, we'll need some prayer. That's for one. It's going. That's a hard sell. But no. All jokes aside, again, I think there's a couple of things. One, they're going to have to obviously shoot the ball better than they did. 34% is not going to get it done against Oklahoma City. That's one. Two, they got to turn them over, or they got to limit their turnovers. You either got to be scoring off of, you got to make OKC turn it over, which is rare. They're the best in the league at protecting the ball. So then you got to cut your turnover. You can't allow them to get out and fuel their game off you making mistakes. So got to be strong with the ball. Got to make the right decision. Got to be in the right spot, space, and all that's got to be important. And then lastly, they could use some Mark Williams. They could use him. They could use some Grayson Allen. To come back and help in terms of giving them some size with Mark, and then giving them some shooting with Grayson. But bottom line is you just gotta you need some major how do I say this? You need to be able to, if Shai's going to do what Shai does, and that's fine. Like if you look at his numbers, they'll take him getting just 25. Now they won't take the free throws, but they'll take. If you tell the Suns the rest of the series, you say, Shai's only going to average 25. They would take that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's been averaging 30 for forever. But what they can't take is Jalen Williams doing what he did, and Chet Holmgren doing what he did, and all but one player scored in the game for the Thunder. Like they played everybody, and then only one guy didn't score.
Yeah.
You can't allow other guys, Isaiah Joe, Mitchell. You can't give them these open shots where and again it's hard to not, because you're gonna load up on Shai, and that's leaving Jalen Williams to now play 1-on-1, or that's leaving Chet to go crash, or that's leaving Hardenstein to go crash. So Shai is the Steph Curry of gravity. Teams just respond to him. We can't allow him to do this, and it leaves everything else open. So that's why Goodwin was supposed to be huge. Can you guard this guy well enough to where they don't have to do all this help? And when he's out, now you got to do all this help, and then once you do that, that's just exposing your defense. So figuring out a way to shoot it better from the field, not turn the ball over, and defend them even where Shai isn't making him do so many crazy things to try to stop him, and they open up everything up for the other team. If they could address two of those three areas, they got a chance to make this a series. If they could address all three areas, then with some prayer involved, then you're talking about that miracle that you're asking for, and that's for the win this series.
Last one for Dwayne Rankin, the beat writer for the Arizona Republic covering the Suns. I know you don't cover the Warriors, but this is Tucson, University of Arizona. What is your sense about whether or not Steve Kerr will be back as head coach there next year?
Again, it's a down year, no question about it. If you're going to make a move, this is the time to make the move. But to me, this is Steph's call. This ain't. If they go to Steph Curry and say, "Hey, you want to keep Steve Curry, you want to let him go." If Steph Curry says, "I want to keep him," he's staying. I think it's more on him, or I think if they ask him, what he said will have a major say in whether they do or don't keep him. But this whole idea that he can't coach today's modern game, I don't think that's the case. I think that he, because of what he has done with that franchise and the championship they've won, and being one of the best teams in the league for the last 10+ years, I would like to see him be able to go out on his own terms. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. But does that mean he should be let go after this year? Personally, I don't think so. But I'm not Mike Dunleavy Jr. To be making that call.
Game 2 of the first round series between the Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunders comes up on a Wednesday night from OKC at 6:30 tip-off. Dwayne, always appreciate the chance to talk some basketball with you. Have a great series out there.
All right, guys. Y'all be easy.
Here we go. Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic, azcentral.com. Dragon Ball getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. You have a hit and run over at East Valencia Road and South Swan Road. A lot of backup here on eastbound Valencia as you get towards that cross street. And we have an accident with injuries slowing things down at East 6th Street and North Campbell Avenue. All directions here grinding to a stop right now as you approach. Meanwhile, for your weather, we're starting to get our cool down right now, sitting at about 90 degrees. We'll get out of the 90s here by 6 o'clock. I'm Drangwall with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Brakemasters.
You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Brakemasters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brakemasters. We give you an honest break.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Breaking news for your home. Way Day. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Way Day long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair. And all up to 80% off during Way Day. Shop Wayfair's Way Day from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Rats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya. That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care and a community of grateful Wildcat fans as we say thank you and congratulations to Coach Lloyd and our Arizona Wildcats on a record 36 wins, Big 12 championship, and a trip to the Final Four. Thank you for another great year. For nearly 6 decades, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care has been an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. We've seen a long history of Wildcat teamwork and excellence. And we know Arizona drivers are counting on that same kind of service for their car's next championship drive to work, school, or back home again. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care will be there with affordable tires and award-winning service at 14 area locations. This month, we've got an entire page of online savings for Wildcat fans. Check out jackfurriers.com/bear down and save up to $140 on the tire brands you love, like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal, and even more championship savings on automotive service. Stop by, call ahead, or make an appointment online. We're ready to help. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Don't miss out on any of the action.
Somebody broke a box, a rare Pokemon card, Gengar. Is that a character? Gengar?
Gengar.
I shouldn't say this because you all go running back to my office trying to pick off my Pokemon cards because they're like all over the place. All right, so I'm going to hang on to this Toxtricity because I think that might be worth something.
Stop touching it.
It's kind of shiny.
DK uses polish. It was very effective.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Full Send Golf.
You guys know how much I really love golf, and I think every week would be dope to post on the Golf Channel. I want to get a lot of guests on here.
Salim's going to take lead. I'm down to be in it. It's not really work to play golf.
Join the party on the golf course.
I was like, let's go to the range.
Oh.
So what are we putting on it?
We said 10K, right?
10K?
All right. We probably bet more than all the other golf channels, right?
10K, 9 holes.
Those guys bet for like cookies.
I feel like I'm going to shank it.
This guy's been training like a Navy SEAL when it comes to golf.
I'm very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Breaking news for your home. Way Day. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Way Day long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Way Day. Shop Wayfair's Way Day from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
We're going to be at Showtime Cards on Wednesday. Join us 3 to 6. Wild Card Wednesday. Showtime Cards. We're going to have live box breaks happening right in store. You never know what it's going to be. Baseball, football, basketball, soccer, MMA, comics, Pokemon.
Catch Teeny
Ping, Star Wars, anything in between. Showtime Cards has something for every collector. Catch all the action this Wednesday, 3 to 6. Showtime Cards located on Speedway, just east of Craycroft with Wildcats Radio 1290. Great to have a chance to chat with Dwayne Rankin, always on top of everything happening with your Suns. Had to get in the question about Steve Kerr because obviously the Warriors did not make the postseason, and at least they didn't make the true postseason. They were in the play-in round, losing out on Friday night, and a lot of people believe this might be the end of that run. Steph's obviously there, Draymond. There was a big huddle towards the end of the game with Steve Kerr, where it was mic'd up, and he said, I don't know what's next, but I want to thank you guys for everything that you've done in this run. Clay's gone. Andre Iguodala's gone. Those are really the only two guys that are left from that whole thing. Kevin Durant came in after one of the titles, and now he's gone, so it might be the end of the era. The question's going to be is whether or not Steve Kerr is going to return. Before we hear from Draymond Green on that, I want to get your thoughts, J-Dub, on what Dwayne Rankin said. He said this is going to be Steph's call. I mean, and we've known throughout the history of sports recently that star players definitely have a say in what happens a lot of times with the head coach, although they'll come out and say it's not my call, I've got nothing to do with it. We were smart enough to know that the major stars often have quite a bit of pull when it comes to what's happening within their organizations, especially organizations that revolve around them. But were you surprised to hear Dwayne Rankin say that that'll likely be Steph's decision whether or not Steve Kerr's?
Well, I think he took a completely different angle on the question than I think we were thinking of, because listeners should know this was all planned. I mean, they could have renegotiated Steve Kerr's contract 3 years ago. They planned to let his contract run out. It's obviously Steve Kerr's decision. Steph Curry wants Steve Kerr to be his coach. Steph Curry doesn't want anybody else other than Steve Kerr as his coach. He's said that thousands of times. But the question is, what is it, passion bucket, DK? Like, the question is, after 12 years is a long time as an NBA head coach in one stop. Like, you don't see that as often anymore. Guys like Pop, it's a rarity to see NBA coaches not either get fired or move on to somewhere else. So I think it's really just a matter of Steve and his family and obviously the front office getting together and talking about whether or not, he's really in for it, because that's really what the contract is all about. But I have no doubt. I mean, I know Draymond and Steph would love nothing more to have Steve Kerr as their coach. He's like the perfect players coach. He runs a system that they love and that works really well. The question is, can Steph still be as effective? Because his whole thing is running 10 miles a game all around every single screen. That becomes harder to do later and later in your 30s. But no, I have no doubt that the people who are going to make this decision are Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and the front office. So obviously, Steph Curry is that franchise. Yeah. But as to whether or not it is Steph Curry's decision, no, it's Steve Kerr's decision if he wants to come back first and foremost. And then if so, how do we get pieces? Now, the other part of this, DK, is I don't know if you heard, but Kawhi Leonard was moments away from being a Warrior at the trade deadline this year. They pulled out of the deal. The Clippers did at the very last second. And now they're saying, now again, Kawhi is often injured as well. But does Kerr come back if they don't have a chance to compete? That's the thing. And their front office has been over the luxury cap every single year. Kerr's been the coach there. They've been very willing to spend money. But with Steph and Dre getting older, the core pieces maybe not coming along as fast. I mean, we all like Podziemski, but he's not quite there as a consistent contributor night in, night out. So I think Steve Kerr will go and evaluate, see what the front office has, see what their assets are, see what their draft capital and positioning is, and make a decision based on competing, because that is core. I mean, Steve Kerr was a 17, 18-year-old on campus as a freshman at the U of A, DK, was a fierce competitor, and nothing has changed since then. So I think it's all about competition for Coach Kerr, and whether or not, 12 years in one stop, maybe a little bit of a breather, right, from that might be the only other side note. But I think as long as Steph and Dre and those guys have a chance to compete for playoffs, make any kind of a run. Nobody thought they would win, 3 years ago that they won the title. So, yeah, I think all those decisions are going to be made, but I think it's a collective, and I think more than anything, it's just if Steve Kerr wants to keep doing it after 12 years on the job.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear what Draymond Green thinks will be the finality of Steve Kerr's time at Golden State.
I hope he's our coach next year. I also hope I'm on this team next year. We also don't know that. I don't know, man. It felt like that was it. It really felt like that was it. What a run it's been. So lucky to have had for 12 years Steve as my coach. But I'm truly at a loss now because you just don't know. Just got to stay ready for whatever it is and, roll with the punches.
Draymond Green on the Draymond Green podcast that he has. It's going to be very interesting how this all plays out. We'll hear from Steve Kerr coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, some of the things he said after the Warriors were eliminated to the Suns the other night in Phoenix. Also, little take I had on it over the weekend. If Steve Kerr is not back with the Warriors, what might be a landing spot for Steve Kerr? And could that landing spot be in a place he's very familiar with?
The other side of that coin is if Steve Kerr leaves, who would they look for to coach? And the rumors that came out today, DK, is Todd Golden from the Florida Gators.
Wow.
Now, he's only 40 years old and Steph is 38, so that's going to be a weird locker room if that does happen. But the funny thing is he got his start at San Francisco.
Right.
So he was the coach there in the Bay Area. So he's got Bay Area roots, which is why his name's come up.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a very interesting one for sure. I mean, there was a lot of talk in Indianapolis about Dustin May's potential future as a coach in the National Basketball Association. And I wonder if it's going to be if we're going to hear a lot more of that now that we're getting into this new era of college basketball and these coaches are having to kind of retool on the fly.
Yeah.
And that's a lot like the NBA game, having to kind of, you don't get to build around 4 kids or 5 kids for 4 years anymore. If we're going to start to hear a lot more of these college basketball names be associated with NBA jobs, even more so than we have in the past.
There's cycles, right? Like it seems like there's a cycle of 5 or 6 years where a lot of college names come up to the NBA, but it hasn't been that way for a minute, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the big name college guys we've seen go to the NBA haven't had a ton of success more recently. So it's guys like Jordan Ott, right, who didn't coach in college, got his start as a guy on the bench, film sessions, that whole thing. How about Spoelstra, right? Like Spoelstra was a video editor and found his way into that head coaching job as a really young guy. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's always going to be talent coming up through the college ranks, but you make a great point because college is becoming more and more like NBA free agency with the transfer portal every single season, re-recruiting your own guys and all of that. But it really will take a mind who understands modern NBA and understands spacing, DK, because in the NBA right now, some teams, in fact, quite a few teams, don't even run pick and rolls right now. It's just a completely different style, completely different era. If you can adapt to that and if your style works well, I mean, I always like to see those young guys get a chance to make names for themselves. That's how we get coaches like Eric Spoelstra, who come out of the gate and are successful and have 50-win seasons in their 30s which you just don't see very often anymore.
All right, we've talked a lot about the NBA playoffs, but the NHL playoffs are going on as well. Simultaneously, we've got 2 games underway already tonight, Flyers and Penguins. I'm sure Dragon Ball's in the traffic room watching that on some type of device right now. Flyers trying to take a 2-zip lead in that series. Senators and Hurricanes playing game number 2. Hurricanes lead 1-zip there. We've also got later on the Ducks and the Oilers out here on the western side of the world. That is game 1 of that series. And we also have another game 2 tonight between Minnesota and the Dallas Stars. Dallas used to be, I think, weren't they the team that moved from Minnesota to Dallas back in the day? And then Minnesota got another team. They were the Minnesota North Stars for a number of years.
A connect the dots where you aren't very good at it. So you just like keep pressing like lines through other dots. And I don't even know. It's hard to keep track of where teams came from and moved to.
Let's find out. And we've got a Westwood One top play on that hockey game tonight.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, helping you beat the books with Westwood One Sports. Coming up tonight in the Pro Hockey Playoffs, Dallas, a -135 home favorite against Minnesota. Total of the game is 6. Minnesota won game 1 6-1. Dallas's goalie did not look good in that game. Remember, he got pulled last year in the Western Conference Final. I like Minnesota tonight to win game 2 at +115. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, so Minnesota on the money line tonight. It's now +118 at the BetMGM. So the Wild over the Stars on the money line is the play tonight. Nick Costos also had a pretty interesting parlay, as we'll swing it back to NBA. He likes, in a parlay tonight, and maybe we'll play this, he likes the Cavs and the Knicks both to win straight up tonight on the money line. The Cavs are already underway. I still haven't put it on my TV. I don't know what I'm doing in here. 42. Well, I don't know if I can get it.
Can't
I
because it's on. Okay, can we talk about this?
Yeah.
There are 3 different subscription networks you have to have right now to watch the NBA playoffs.
That's true, yeah.
3.
Well, 2 of the games are, I think, on national.
Yes, but this one's on
one
NBC SN and Peacock. So not on the cable.
No. I was able to watch that over the weekend because my cousin had Peacock. Or I'm sorry, the games were on Prime. I think they were on Prime Video early in the
Yeah, so it's Prime, it's ABC, ESPN, NBC, Peacock, and Prime are the 3 different organizations currently hosting NBA playoffs.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Cavaliers are leading the Raptors 42-36, and he says take the Knicks as well on the money line tonight in a parlay. Also, the BetMGM Westwood One people like the over tonight in the Cavs Raptors game, over 222.5 at -110. Okay, so they've already got 78 points in this game, and it's midway through the second quarter. So I think they're on point to cross that 222.5 point threshold. So there you go. Wild over the Stars on the money line. Cavs Raptors over 222.5. And parlay the Cavs. Well, it's kind of maybe late to get that one because it's already started. But parlay the Cavaliers and Knicks to win outright on the money line.
So the Cavs average 120 points a game.
Yeah.
So, and let's see, the Raptors, they're 115.
Yeah. I think that's going to play. And they were at 239. 239 was the total in game 1. Won by the Cavaliers 126-1.
Bro, the Denver Nuggets averaged 122 points a game.
Wow.
122 points a game.
That's a lot. Old school 70s, 80s NBA back.
It's like the Nuggets with those cool rainbow uniforms from like Fat Lever days.
Oh my gosh.
Alex English, man. I like that. Those teams are fun to watch.
They were. All right, when we come back, if Steve Kerr leaves the Warriors, I'm going to tell you where I think he might land or might be a cool place for him to land. DK on the Sports Tip. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Left lane of eastbound and westbound I-10 near Emperor Road, milepost 292 and 293 will be remaining closed through spring of 2026. There will be some slowing and the speed limit reduced to 55 miles per hour in that spot. Meanwhile, westbound Glen is still closed approaching and passing Country Club with alternating lane restrictions on Country Club at Glen. For your weather, still getting at about 89 degrees now. We'll continue to go ahead and cool down, going to 76 at 9. I'm Dragon Ball, the Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care and a community of grateful Wildcat fans as we say thank you and congratulations to Coach Lloyd and our Arizona Wildcats on a record 36 wins, Big 12 championship, and a trip to the Final Four. Thank you for another great year. For nearly 6 decades, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care has been an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. We've seen a long history of Wildcat teamwork and excellence. And we know Arizona drivers are counting on that same kind of service for their car's next championship drive to work, school, or back home again. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care will be there with affordable tires and award-winning service at 14 area locations. This month, we've got an entire page of online savings for Wildcat fans. Check out jackfurriers.com/bear down and save up to $140 on the tire brands you love, like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal, and even more championship savings on automotive service. Stop by, call ahead, or make an appointment online. We're ready to help. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Hey, that was our exit. We're going to miss the first pitch.
Just got to make a stop at Fry's. I promised I'd bring nachos.
Nice. You have the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's that?
Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And they just added Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area.
Wait, I can get money back just for buying groceries?
Yep. And right now you can get an extra $10 bonus on your first Fry's trip with the app. That's up to $25 cash back on one grocery run.
Even this Fry's store right here?
Yes. Now pull over. Let's get some cash back on those nachos.
Upside is now available for Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area. Download the free Upside app and use promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus on your first purchase at Fry's. That's promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus. Remember, use promo code AZ3.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Wildcat fans, it's time to renew your season tickets. Renewals are now live for Arizona football, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and soccer. Not a season ticket holder? Well, now's your chance to become one, as new season tickets are also on sale. Visit ArizonaWildcats.com/renew or call 520-621-CATS, that's 621-2287, to renew or buy new season tickets. And remember, the deadline to renew is May 1st. Bear down.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no. How bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
There's only one place to catch Brian Jeffries, the voice of your Arizona Wildcats.
Grabbed by Del Orso, who drives the baseline and slams it home. He did what?
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Nobody covers your cats like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, in this new era of college athletics, we're seeing the creation of a lot of new positions within these athletic departments. And
Stanford names all of them.
Well, apparently we do now as well. We have
got our first.
Our first, yeah. Our athletic director now has a endowed position or sponsored position, or however you want to call it. R. Ken Coit, athletics director. So we've joined that party right there. And you're seeing a lot of these football teams bringing on personnel, general managers of sort. That's not what they used to call, these positions in college. That was a professional sports moniker to have a GM. But obviously we've had some here with Arizona football. Now we had to turn over that position recently because the guys from last year left to go to bigger schools. Well, they all jetted went to went to Arkansas for last year. Adrian Wojnarowski, one of the profound insiders of NBA coverage for many years on many different platforms, Yahoo, ESPN. He left to become a quote college GM at I think it was St. Bonaventure, his alma mater. Yeah.
He is hard-headed.
So
that's all.
He's hard-headed.
Yeah. I mean, we all love Woj for breaking stories, and in his role because he really wants to bring the Bonnies. Apparently, it's kind of a no nonsense from him.
So, as I was listening to Steve Kerr talk on Friday night and about what's potentially going to be next for him, and you'll hear what he had to say coming up in our next segment. We'll let you hear extensively what he said Friday night. But it got me thinking. Okay, well, if this is the end in Golden State, it's been a great run. They've won titles there. They won 4 championships. The dynasty of this century in basketball broke my heart a couple of times as well. I broke their heart once, or my team broke their heart once. Some great battles with the Cavaliers in this most recent decade. 4 championships, as I mentioned. If that's the end of it, so what's next for Steve Kerr? And the first thing that came to my mind was, how about GM of Arizona basketball? Steve Kerr, the prodigal favorite son of Arizona basketball, who's got experience in the front office. Now, maybe not as successful as his time as a head coach, but he's done the work. He knows what it's all about to acquire talent and judge talent.
He got a bad rap because, was it 8 seconds or less? What was that offense called?
Oh, Mike D'Antoni?
Yeah, the Mike D'Antoni, Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire offense. They went from that to old Shaq.
And Mike D'Antoni's a Hall of Famer now. He was inducted in Indianapolis. Or not inducted in Indianapolis, but he was introduced in the class that's going into the Hall of Fame, Naismith Hall of Fame, coming up here in the very near future, along with Amari Stoudemire. So there were several Suns connections that were a part of that most recent most recent Hall of Fame class, the current Hall of Fame class that's going to be inducted later this year. But Steve Kerr and Tommy Lloyd the next day, or actually it was the day before that, because I think that was Saturday or Saturday, that they introduced all those people. Maybe it was Monday. It was Monday. I remember it was the day I was there doing the show, but we didn't. I think it was Monday that they introduced the Hall of Fame class. And obviously Tommy Lloyd came out and said, my Michael Jordan is Steve Kerr. Would that not be the perfect marriage? Those two guys teaming up to transform Arizona basketball in this new era of college athletics? We didn't put it out there. I didn't put it out there as a question of the day because we do that on our Wildcats 1290, and this was something I put on my page. Interesting responses. Not everybody, and I already knew this because Steve Kerr is very outspoken. Tends to come from the left in his political leanings. There's a lot of people in this fan base that don't like Steve Kerr. There's a lot of people that love Steve Kerr. But there are a lot of people that don't like Steve Kerr in this fan base. And I'm going to just read you some of the comments. We might not get through all of them today. You can head to my Twitter account at David Kelly 1290. So again, what I wrote was, if Steve Kerr leaves Golden State, how about GM at U of A? Can you imagine Kerr and Tommy Lloyd teaming up to win NCAA hoops titles in Tucson? Talk about cementing your basketball legacy. One gentleman, Dr. Supercat, Matt King is already our GM. Matt King is not the general manager of Arizona basketball. Matt King is the president of basketball operations. He does do some work in terms of the contracts in this new era, but he's not the guy that's procuring player talent for Arizona basketball. Okay, he's really a largely a marketing guy, but he has a number of different roles as president of basketball operations. But he's not the GM. He's not the GM as in the true sense of what we know GMs to be in professional sports. Travis Newton. Steve Kerr ruined the Suns and then went on to Golden State to coach. No effing way is this a good idea. You must have no memory. That's Travis Newton. I responded to Travis Newton. People forget Bill Belichick had 4 losing seasons with the Browns in his first tenure as a head coach. He got fired. Yeah. Bill Belichick turned out pretty well. And although Steve Kerr was not the general manager of the Golden State Warriors, he had a lot to do with helping to put the totality and the final pieces. Now, granted, most of those guys were there when he got there, but we all know that you need a lot of different pieces to win a title. You need a lot of different pieces to win 4 titles, folks. Steve Kerr had a large hand in that after he got there. And so I think he learned a lot from his tenure as a Suns GM that helped him in working with what was the guy? I forget the other guy that was basically the talent guy for a long time. He's on TV now on ESPN.
Oh, yeah, for the Warriors. I can't think of his name.
Myers,
either.
maybe Bob Myers.
Yeah, Bob Myers.
Myers, yeah. But they worked together to put the finishing products on that.
Well, Iggy
on that
came
run
the
at
first
Golden
year,
State.
right?
I think so.
Yeah, first or second year, Steve was on the bench. That's when Andre Iguodala came over from the Nuggets.
Yeah. Jeffrey Warwick says, "Holy S, yes. Holy beep, yes." Steve K. Buchanan, how about no? I mean, these are all over the place. Danny Boy says, yeah, wouldn't that just be amazing? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. T. Syka, pass. Bring in Sean Elliott. That's an interesting one.
I can give a little history lesson. If you go back and watch the Wild About the Cats 1987-88 documentary, right, produced by Dana, there's a bit there where Steve Kerr towards the end, he says, if I'm not successful in my next, job in life, if I don't get to go play basketball and do what I want to do, I'll just come back and take Close Olson's job. So like Steve Kerr made a joke as a senior in college here at the U of A that he would come back and take, and he was very tongue-in-cheek even back then, DK, but after he did retire and went into broadcasting, then he went to the GM with the Suns and all of that, there was a lot of talk about Steve being the coach here forever. And I think that subject has been broached so many times in Tucson over the last, 15 or 20 years. I think that would be amazing, and I know it will never happen for one reason. Because Steve Kerr going from being the world champion coach of the Warriors to being a guy who's, trying to corral 18-year-olds into their dorm rooms, I think if anything, Steve Kerr will be on a open private beach somewhere in San Diego for the next few years if he's not on the Warriors bench.
Dragon Ball joins us. Dragon Ball. So the question that I put out on my Twitter page was, how about Steve Kerr as GM of Arizona if he leaves the Warriors? There's a lot of people love Steve Kerr because the post got 200 plus likes, but a lot of people also don't like.
For the record, I was there at the moment of silence when Dr. Malcolm Kerr, who was the president of the University of Americas in Lebanon, was assassinated when Steve Kerr was a freshman at the U of A. So you talk about Steve Kerr being on the left-leaning side. What I've heard mostly is his outspoken thing about gun violence in schools and things like that. And he doesn't pull punches to talk about that. And a lot of people don't like anybody talking bad about guns. So if you're a person from that, worldview, and you hear Steve Kerr speaking out, but he's speaking from personal experience because his own father was targeted and killed when he was a freshman in college. So it's a very personal subject to Steve Kerr. And Greg Popovich was always, he learned a lot from Lute Olson. He learned a lot from Phil Jackson. But Greg Popovich, I think, is that moral code center for Coach Kerr. And he talks a lot like Pop talks, which is very outspoken in his beliefs of, people shouldn't die in schools and that thing. And he's not going to, shy away from talking about those types of top conversations.
Right. And for Kerr, in the sense of taking over GM role at the University of Arizona, since now we've reached that point of college sports where we have to have GMs now, which is an absurdity. But the main thing for me in relation to that is I know that we have a lot of love for Steve Kerr, and he had a very, very long run of greatness in Golden State. There's a lot of points where I would look at and say, how good was he at getting other talent that wasn't already there?
That's what some people are saying,
and the biggest thing for me was that you already had Steph Curry, you already had Klay Thompson. That was Mark Jackson's duo. He was the one talking about that being the greatest shooting backcourt of all time, and he's the one that really brought in Draymond to really have more of a massive role in the offense. So I give Kerr credit for that, but not being able to find anything for Jonathan Kuminga, the James Wiseman experiment that didn't end up planning out. There was just a lot of things related to Kerr in regards to how he managed to put together a team with the front office that they had. Because I'd imagine Steve Kerr had some say in player movement, considering his history as a GM in other places in the NBA. So I think that Steve Kerr's had a very long and successful career. If you're GM of Arizona, I just need to see a little bit of a waiting of grace period to see how well he would be able to identify talent, particularly in the high school level, because that's just something that seeing talent is one thing, coaching talent is another. That would be the only thing that I would have with Steve Kerr as GM of Arizona.
I looked up famous college basketball general managers. So you do have the Adrian Wojnarowski's. He's basically it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, most of these people I've never heard of. So the real question is not, can Steve Kerr evaluate talent in the NBA? Because, first of all, Kerr's not the one who drafted Wiseman and those guys. Like, he has a say, but that's a whole series of scouts. Yeah. But the question is, if a 10-time NBA champion comes into the living room of a 17-year-old and says, hey, I think you could do really well at Arizona, that's really what it is all about. Yeah. I mean, the vast experience of having 4 championships as a head coach and 6 championships as a player, the amount of clout that brings with you. So I mean, that's the biggest part of it all. But again, I think that maybe the game is so different now than it was in college. Every time Coach Kerr has been asked about college, he always says he's an NBA guy. And he's been in the NBA now, for 25 years?
Going on that, at least
I
a
think
quarter century.
88 was his draft class. So, yeah, I mean, he had a few years away, but he's so entrenched in the NBA, coming back and fielding. And all that being said, DK, I think the real reason you maybe asked that question is because he and Coach Tommy Lloyd are very kindred and very close. And you can tell that those guys are on the same page. So as far as working together with one of the all-time legends in NBA history, I mean, if he wants to, sit on his porch and drink lemonade and every once in a while talk to some recruits, that would, I think it's be more like that. But I think what I was saying is 12 years on the bench is a long time. Popovich, but there aren't a lot of long tenured guys in the NBA these days. So it may just be time to go and take a break.
I'll read a few more of these. Scott Allen says that would be awesome. Bear down. Steve Kerr teaming up with Tommy Lloyd. Tom Wagner says absolutely no. James Peterson couldn't afford him. Bomber Jacket says probably not a good idea, to be honest. Tony Allen says only one can hope. Come home, Steve. Colorado or Rage Wildcat says the Steve Kerr 20 years ago, sure. Not that woke, bleep, TDS infested Steve Kerr. TDS stands for Trump Deranged Syndrome. There you go. All right, we'll read a few more. There's a few more. We'll read a few more of those coming up in the next segment. We'll let you hear from Steve Kerr as well, what he thinks will be next or how that process will be played out. Right now, Dragon Ball's getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We have maintenance on the Gulf Links Bridge at Pantano Wash. This is near Camino Seco starting up today. Travel restrictions will be in place for 24/7. Crews are going to be working on one side of the bridge at a time, but work will be completed in the end of June. Meanwhile, northbound Park Avenue between 36th Street to 22nd Street is closed through the end of May. That'll be for pavement work as well as water line installation there. For your weather, currently sitting at about 89 degrees right now. That cool down starting to finally take effect, getting down to 76 here at 9 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Breakmasters. You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Breakmasters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Breakmasters. We give you an honest break.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
Hey, that was our exit. We're gonna miss the first pitch.
Just gotta make a stop at Fry's. I promised I'd bring nachos.
Nice. You have the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's that?
Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And they just added Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area.
Wait, I can get money back just for buying groceries?
Yep. And right now you can get an extra $10 bonus on your first Fry's trip with the app. That's up to $25 cash back on one grocery run.
Even this Fry's store right here?
Yes. Now pull over. Let's get some cash back on those nachos.
Upside is now available for Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area. Download the free Upside app and use promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus on your first purchase at Fry's. That's promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus. Remember, use promo code AZ3.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Join David Kelly this Wednesday from 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards for Wild Card Wednesdays. Showtime Cards will have live box breaks happening right in the store. You never know what pulls might pop up. Whether you're into baseball, football, basketball, soccer, MMA, comics, Pokemon, Star Wars, or anything in between, Showtime Cards has something for every collector. Catch all the action this Wednesday, 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards, located on Speedway just east of Craycroft, with Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The Oklahoma Sooners are NCAA gymnastics champions again. The Sooners came from behind Saturday in Fort Worth, edging LSU by less than 1/10 of a point in a meet that came down to the final routine. Senior Faith Torres, who stunned the field to claim the individual all-around title just 2 days earlier, delivered when it mattered most, anchoring the floor rotation to seal the win. Back-to-back champions, 4th title in 5 years, 8 total under head coach KJ Kindler, who capped her 20th season at the helm in the most Oklahoma way possible.
You can break due to adversity, or you can break records due to adversity. And that's kind of was our theme as we walked in the door. We talked about that last night, and that's huge.
Congrats to the Sooners, 2026 NCAA gymnastics champions. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Jody Jackson on Westwood One.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Yeah, sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week at most locations.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and member FDIC.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
If Steve Kerr were to leave Golden State after all these years, would you like to see him team up with Tommy Lloyd as general manager of the Arizona Wildcats? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. We got a comment on the text groove. The dip blanks that complain about woke Kerr is the only reason why Kerr wouldn't be successful with the GM role. Steve Kerr has the respect of inner city families that worry about gun violence. He's not recruiting Proud Boys to play for Arizona. That comes from the text group.
I mean, sure, unless they could really ball, right?
There you go. I don't know that I know any Proud Boys that can ball. I don't. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't either, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible.
That's true. Let's read a few more of these before we hear from Steve Kerr. Drizzo, Frank Drizzo says, no, please, no. That's Frank Drizzo.
Like I said, I think the Suns, the thing was there was so much promise with those 8 seconds or less, teams. And,
and they just,
they had a window of like 4 or 5 years. And Steve Kerr came in after that, 2 years after that, right? So the window had kind of already closed. But the moves he made were not pushing the Suns in a winning direction. And there's so many of the Suns fans, what was it? The 70s, they got close. The 90s, they got really close. Barkley. And then obviously those Steve Nash teams. And so I think when Coach Kerr did take that GM position, DK, his first job right out of the booth, right? Like he was doing play-by-play or he was an analyst, and then he got hired as the GM. Those moves, including bringing Shaq in, did not help the Suns win more games or make further playoff runs. So any Suns fan will always associate his time as the GM as going the wrong direction.
Right. Full abstraction. I was thinking the same thing, DK. There you go, full abstraction. ASU chimes in. Just laughing. Windy Zona 17. Hell no. Keep his woke views out of sports. One more here. Al Mueller says, too woke. Infected by his mentor, Pop, and time in California. Greg Popovich. Don't need his, here's this acronym again, don't need his TDS anywhere near U of A.
You should tell that person that Steve Kerr is from California.
Exactly. He is from Palos Verdes.
Pacific Palisades, where they burned down 3 years ago, right? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, that's where he's from.
He is. All right, let's hear from Mr. Steve Kerr, who spoke after the loss Friday night here in Arizona, the state where he made his college basketball name. His team bounced in the play-in for the 8th seed in the Western Conference playoffs by the Phoenix Suns. Steve Kerr.
Congrats to Phoenix Suns. They have had a great year. Jordan Odd has done a phenomenal job as a young coach who took over a really difficult situation. And, man, those guys competed all year long, and they've earned this, and they earned it tonight. A lot of guys played really, really well. They played hard, just like they did all season. And so congrats to them. And I just want to say thanks to my team, to our guys. This was as tough a season as you can have with the injuries, with all kinds of adversity. And they battled the entire season. They kept going the other night just to, continue the season, to show that kind of fight. And then tonight we just didn't have it, but the competitive desire was there. And I'm proud of the group for finishing the season the right way by continuing to fight and trying to win every game.
Steph had a really tough shooting night. Other guys definitely didn't seem like they were at maybe full energy. I know you don't want to use it as an excuse, but do you just think maybe the tank was emptied after Wednesday? Maybe the legs just weren't there enough for this game?
Well, it's you really have to give the credit to Phoenix. I mean, they punched us early, 33-15 in the first quarter, and aggressive defense, forcing a lot of turnovers. And so we didn't have it, but that had more to do with Phoenix and their effort than anything else.
Steve, towards the end of the game, you and Draymond and Steph kind of did a group hug. What was that moment like, and what message was shared in that huddle?
None of your business.
All right.
Your future is about to become a major topic. How do you what's kind of your plan in the next?
My plan is to take a little time and I don't know, take a week or two and eventually sit down and talk with Joe and Mike. We've always had a great partnership and collaboration, and just see where they are. And I'll tell them where I am, and we'll talk about what's next for the Warriors, what the plan is this offseason, and we will come to a collaborative decision on what's next. I don't know what's going to happen. I still love coaching, but I get it. These jobs all have an expiration date. There's a run that happens, and when the run ends, sometimes it's time for new blood and new ideas and all that. And if that's the case, then I will be just nothing but grateful for the most amazing opportunity any person could have to coach this franchise in front of our fans in the Bay, and to coach Steph Curry, to coach Dre, the whole group. So it may still go on. It may not. I don't know at this point. But we all need to step away a little bit and then reconvene.
What's the emotion right now after a season full of these ups and downs and all the injuries? Like, what's the emotion in the locker room?
It's always there's just a sense of finality that is surreal. You know, you just go through the 7-8 months grind, you're game after game, traveling. You're with all these people who you love, and it's so emotional, you know, to go through an entire season. So much happens, and we have so many people in there besides the players who, you know, support staff. We're like family. We really are. And so the season ends, and it's like just bizarre. It's just, you know, all of a sudden your entire existence changes, and you're not convening every day. You're not fighting together. You're not trying to, you know, climb to the top of the mountain. And it's part of the beauty of sports and a season. You know, one season is its own journey, and then all of a sudden it's over. And strange feeling, but very, as I said, very, very grateful to these guys this year for all they've been through, the way they continue to compete and play together. It was special to watch.
In your week or two of reflecting after the season, as it pertains to your future, what do you think are some of the factors that you'll be considering in terms of whether you still want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the question, but that's really private. I mean, you know, I think what I said is really everything you need to know. Joe and Mike and I will talk, and we'll see where everybody is. If it's right, it's right, and if it's not, it's not. And there will be details within that will, you know, help us reach a collective decision, and we just have to have those conversations.
All right, that was Steve Kerr after the game on Friday night. I do want to, and I'll play it on this side, GW. This is he was asked about what was said in the huddle. He was mic'd up. I don't know if he knew he was mic'd up or whatever not, but here's what he said in that huddle near the end of the game with Steph Curry and Draymond Green.
I don't know what's going to happen next, but I love you guys to death, and thank you. I appreciate you.
There you go. I mean, very short and to the point. Man, maybe that's one of the reasons why, you know, Draymond on his podcast said it feels like this is the end. But again, you don't know. You don't know. You mean it may not be the end, but it's like one of those things. It's like you can't, you know, if that's the end, you want those guys to know in the heat of battle what they've meant to you over the course of the last 12 years.
To put it quite simply, this is the first game that's ended their season with a win or loss that Steve Kerr wasn't under contract.
Yeah.
So his contract is up at the end of this season. They decided not to renegotiate, not to extend it. So that moment there, DK, is just the understanding that Steve Kerr might not sign another contract with the Warriors. And if so, that was the last game that he ever coached Draymond and Steph. I mean, how many wins did those two guys? And obviously, Klay Thompson had a lot to do with that. But we all remember the playoff wins, but just wins alone. I mean, they set the NBA record, right? Real quick, DK, Steve Kerr a couple years back mentioned, I just love this part of Steve Kerr's legacy is the players he played with. You ever hear him talk about his starting five? He named a starting five of the players he personally played with. It's Jordan, Pippen, obviously.
Yeah.
A guy named Tim Duncan.
Right.
A guy named Shaquille O'Neal. And your guy, Mark Price, which is where he got his career started, right? He started with the Suns, and then he was with the Cavs. So he played with those late 80s, early 90s Cavs teams. Mark Price.
Yeah. I mean, that is a great starting five.
Hey.
Of guys to have played with that have dominated this game and been fun to watch for sure. All right, Steve Kerr. We can talk more about that if you want to get in on that conversation. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. I'll read one more here we got on the text group before we go to Dragon Ball. Steve Kerr? Question mark. This is Joe Mitchell. absolutely a legendary Wildcat who would bring class, professionalism, unbelievable connections, expertise, and clout. Absolutely, Joe Mitchell says he would take Steve Kerr back, working with Tommy Lloyd to try to win championships here at the University of Arizona. I just think, hey, I mean, and I don't know, maybe it's not the quote GM role, but I think there's no question if Steve walks away from the NBA, you'd love to see him have some type of significant role. Heck, even if it's the Teddy Bruschi role that he had at Jed Fish, was basically just like a glorified honorary mouthpiece, whatever. I mean, you definitely would take Steve Kerr out there talking on behalf of this program, like J-Dub said, in the living room of 18-year-olds, and Steve's not going to walk in there with his rings on. His how many rings is it?
10.
8, 10. He's not going to walk.
Yeah, 4 as a coach and 6 as
a player.
Yeah, 6 as a player.
He's not going to walk in there with his 10 rings on. Like I know some people that would do that. That's not Steve Kerr, but man, that's a guy I think I would want out there talking on behalf of my program.
If not, he could just apply
hesitation.
for the commissioner of the NBA job. I'm sure he could probably do that.
There you go. There you go. I wouldn't mind him having that opportunity at some point either. 520-848-1290. One more segment to go. Casino del Sol replay. We'll update you on the games in progress tonight. We'll also have a little bit more and tell you about what's coming up on Wednesday as we get out onto the road. It's road trip week this week. We are on the road all over town. So stop by and see us. Dragon Ball is making sure that those roads are safe for you. He's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic in your way.
From the Cruz & Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Both directions of Euclid Avenue south of Speedway Boulevard will be experiencing some curb lane restrictions through the end of May for pedestrian and bike crossing construction happening. Meanwhile, I-10 Ina to Rutherford Improvement Project still has westbound I-10 on and off ramps at Sunset closed. For your weather, we're getting down to about 86 degrees now. Again, getting down to 76 here at 9 p.m. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises, all on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and StraightTalk.com.
Join David Kelly this Wednesday from 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards for Wild Card Wednesdays. Showtime Cards will have live box breaks happening right in the store. You never know what pulls might pop up. Whether you're into baseball, football, basketball, soccer, MMA, comics, Pokemon, Star Wars, or anything in between, Showtime Cards has something for every collector. Catch all the action this Wednesday, 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards, located on Speedway just east of Craycroft, with Wildcats Radio 1290.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy? Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mirafiber gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mirafiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and we've already experienced hot weather. Is your air conditioner ready for the long hot summer? For the month of April, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing will be offering a $99 home wellness plan for all new customers. This includes your spring maintenance, fall maintenance, and a plumbing maintenance. Call now 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Softball and baseball season has arrived in Tucson, and tickets are on sale now. From the greatest setting in softball at Hillenbrand Stadium to the dingers into the Tucson sunset at High Corbett, you won't want to miss any of the action this season. Tell a friend, bring the kids, and spend your evenings at the yard, as the Wildcats are sure to put on a show. Get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/tickets. Bear down.
Hey, that was our exit. We're gonna miss the first pitch.
Just gotta make a stop at Fry's. I promised I'd bring nachos.
Nice. You have the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's that?
Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And they just added Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area.
Wait, I can get money back just for buying groceries?
Yep. And right now you can get an extra $10 bonus on your first Fry's trip with the app. That's up to $25 cash back on one grocery run.
Even this Fry's store right here?
Yes. Now pull over. Let's get some cash back on those nachos.
Upside is now available for Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area. Download the free Upside app and use promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus on your first purchase at Fry's. That's promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus. Remember, use promo code AZ3.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
You are listening to the home of your University of Arizona Wildcats.
So Quincy Craig had 11 carries in this game. He had 6 of those carries in the second quarter. He had 5 of them in the fourth quarter.
I mean, the running game will be going, and then they'll go right back to passing.
Right.
So it really confuses me, man. You know, I've watched a lot of football. I played a lot of football, but I can't figure it out. And I guess that's probably why it's working for him.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Reports say that if the Eagles are to deal wide receiver A.J. Brown, that it will happen after June 1st and will most likely be to the New England Patriots. This would split Brown's salary cap between 2 seasons and, more importantly, get the Eagles picks for the 2027 and 2028 NFL drafts. This just reaffirms what other GMs and analysts have been saying for weeks. This is a down draft, and now the Eagles would rather get picks in future drafts. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural, drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Day one, back in the saddle, and we've gotten into a lot today. The Diamondbacks are off tonight. No game for them, but they are playing really good baseball right now, led by this guy. It's your Desert Diamond Casino. Your Casino del Sol replay for today.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf. Diamondbacks download. Baseball talk.
Yeah, how about Corbin Carroll over the weekend?
He's got his pitch. Fly ball deep to left field. It's on its way, and it's a grand slam.
Corbin Carroll busting up a 2-2 game against the Toronto Blue Jays, the American League champion Toronto Blue Jays, who came within a few inches of winning the whole thing last year. Diamondbacks took 3 out of 4 from said Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays do have some things going on in terms of some pieces that they are missing, but still, this Diamondbacks team right now, 13-9 on the season. They are in third place. They're just 2.5 games back of the Dodgers, who are currently the best team in baseball. So they're right there, and this is after they lost the first 3 games of the season to the Diamondbacks. Dodgers are 15-6. Padres are 15-7, a half game off. And then you've got the Diamondbacks at 13-9, 2.5 games off the pace. But they've won 7 of their last 10 games, playing well. Torey Lovullo said this weekend that they did not panic. It did not rattle them when they lost those first 3 games of the season to the Dodgers.
They know that they're good. The fact that we were able to turn the page, come back, and play as good as we did against Detroit told me everything I needed to know. This team is hungry. They play together. They're in it for one another, and that's what stands out. That's why we're winning close games. You know, we play a lot of close games here. We know it, and we budget for it. We practice like everything's going to be a one-run game. They accept it, and they go out there and play together, and they believe in one another.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things, again, they played the Blue Jays over the weekend, and they had a chance to sweep that series, but they couldn't close the door yesterday. A disastrous first inning for Ryan Nelson. He allowed 8 runs, could not get out of the first inning yesterday in a 10-4 loss to the Blue Jays. Just one of the outings for a starting pitcher that you absolutely hate. 8 runs, 8 hits, 1 walk through 30 pitches, could only get 1 out in that first inning. But one of the positives that came out of that was Brandon Pfaadt, who, in case you were not aware while we were gone on vacation, got relegated to the bullpen. So Brandon Pfaadt, who was kind of your 5th starter, is now the long man out of the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. And he came into that game and pitched 6 1/3 innings, allowing just a run on 4 hits to really allow the Diamondbacks to not have to throw 6-7 guys out there yesterday because Ryan Nelson could get just 1 out in the first inning. Torey Lovullo said that was absolutely huge.
Without Brandon Pfaadt 6 1/3 coming in, we would be up against it for another 3 or 4 days. So he's built to do that for us, and the fact that he's able to do it in 82 or 84 pitches and protect the entire bullpen and give them a day off, that was fantastic.
Yeah. What's not obviously fantastic is a young starter who a lot of people believe was going to be maybe somebody that could be a key piece in your rotation, having to now be relegated to the bullpen. That's never fun. That's never fun for guys, but it's something that, hey, it's better to go. I always say it's better to go to the bullpen than to go to the minor leagues. And so Brandon Pfaadt will try to get it back together in the bullpen. He talked about this new role and how he wants to attack it.
It's a little different, but it's a good opportunity to grow from and go out there and have a different perspective of the game, and any opportunity to help the team win. That's the position that I'm putting myself in, the mentality. And
has Ryan shared much with you with how his experience went in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, a little bit. I've talked to him. I'm sure I'll talk to him a little bit more in the same position that he was in last year, and we saw how that turned out for him. So taking it as a growth opportunity, and like I said, just any opportunity to help the team win, and any advantage to get on top.
And that's Ryan Nelson that they were talking about. Ryan Nelson, who obviously now is in the starting role, but did not pitch well in that starting role on Sunday. So you've got a couple of young guys there that are working through some issues in Ryan Nelson and Brandon Pfaadt. And we'll see how that all plays out as we move forward with this season. But overall, your Diamondbacks at 13-9 right now, sitting pretty, just 2.5 games behind the Dodgers as they have wrapped up their series with the Blue Jays, get a day off, and they'll welcome the White Sox to town. So a chance to build on that. The White Sox, of course, are not that great. They're a little bit better than they've been. But you got 3 games home against the White Sox and then another 2 against San Diego. It's only a 2-game series. Is that right, against San Diego this weekend? They play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They have Friday off again. And then they play 2 Saturday and Sunday against San Diego. That's a little bit different, but there you go. 5 more games at home, and you get the Padres on the backside. That is your Casino del Sol replay for today.
Diamondback Download.
Baseball talk.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, don't forget, we will be out at Showtime Cards on Wednesday. It is Wild Card Wednesday. Join us out there 3 to 6. It is on Speedway just east of Craycroft. We're going to be breaking boxes, as we always do, with George Murray's and company out there. Baseball, football, basketball, soccer, MMA, comics, Pokemon, catch, teeny ping.
Also,
Star
they got
Wars.
a really cute dog protector
Yes,
for the place.
They do. I forget the dog's name already.
You can go reintroduce yourself on Wednesday.
I do. Well, we'll talk about dogs more tomorrow, because I did something on my trip that I've never done before. It's something I'm sure you probably do a lot. But
Pet a dog? You've never pet a dog before?
I've petted a dog plenty of times, but
Cool.
there was something else I'd never done before. But I did, and it got me because my wife, and I'll kind of elaborate because we've done a thing. My wife and I have kind of done a thing, and so it might lead to us, maybe doing another thing, which could involve a pet. And so you never know. She's a dog person, and so I kind of had a dog experience over the weekend that I had to have a conversation with her when I got back. So maybe we'll dive
You get
into
her on
that.
the right dog, DK, and it will
Dive
change you.
around
If
it.
I introduced you to my dog, Maxwell, you would just
Maxwell.
love all dogs.
Okay. I had a good weekend around Bootsy. That's my cousin Michelle. We call her Shelly. My cousin Shelly's dog, who absolutely thought I was the Antichrist when I walked into the house.
Because you're a stranger.
On Friday, but by the time I left on Sunday, he was in love with
When
me.
I worked at Frog and Firkin, there was this bull mastiff. I'm telling you, this was like 4 feet off the ground, like a 220-pound dog. And when it got behind the fence, DK, it barked at everybody because it thought it was its place.
Right.
On the other side of the fence, it loved everybody.
Okay.
Go into a dog's house, it's going to bark at you.
Okay. I learned that. I learned that this weekend as well. Thanks to Dwayne Rankin for joining us on the show. For JW Madden, for Cricket on Vacation, for Dragon Ball, my name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. DK on the Sports Tip, 3 o'clock. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the Cruz & Associates Personal Injury Attorney Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Some improvements to the I-10 Keno to Irvington work still ongoing, with Country Club Road under the I-10 closed for the year for widening work, opening up back again in the summer of 2026. Meanwhile, northbound and southbound Palo Verde Road between Irvington and I-10 will have lane restrictions in place through April of 2026 there. And for your weather, still currently sitting at about 85 degrees right now. Tomorrow, it'll go ahead and have a high of 92. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Springfest is back at Lowe's. Shop select bags of decorative rock, 2 for $12. And select 1-pint annuals for $2. Valid through 4/22. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Around Tucson, you've probably seen Cruz on the road across our community. Because Cruz isn't just another law firm, we care about this community. And when one of our own is injured in an accident, we can help. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz & Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
The next 30 seconds could save you hundreds on your car insurance. At The Hartford, we're passionate about your protection. If you're 50 or over, AARP Auto Insurance from The Hartford gives you benefits that really matter. And you could save $597 when you switch. How's that for a little peace of mind? Visit trusthartford.com today. The Hartford, your protection is our passion. The Hartford Insurance Group, Inc. pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. Savings vary.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Hey, that was our exit. We're gonna miss the first pitch.
Just gotta make a stop at Fry's. I promised I'd bring nachos.
Nice. You have the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's that?
Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And they just added Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area.
Wait, I can get money back just for buying groceries?
Yep. And right now you can get an extra $10 bonus on your first Fry's trip with the app. That's up to $25 cash back on one grocery run.
Even this Fry's store right here?
Yes. Now pull over. Let's get some cash back on those nachos.
Upside is now available for Fry's stores in the Tucson Sierra Vista area. Download the free Upside app and use promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus on your first purchase at Fry's. That's promo code AZ3 to get a $10 bonus. Remember, use promo code AZ3.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Tune in this Thursday at 6 p.m. as Chip Hale and your Arizona Wildcats host the BYU Cougars for a 3-game series at High Corbett Field on your home for University of Arizona Athletics. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona Athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The day shuts down. The games light up. This is BetMGM Tonight on Westwood One Sports.
Hey, welcome on back to BetMGM Tonight here on Westwood One Sports. We bid adieu to Brad Evans for the night, and that means we've got 2 solo hours as we take you to 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm Pat Boyle, and we're brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Download the app today. Please gamble responsibly. Hour number 4 of the show starts right now. You can catch the show every single night, Monday through Friday from 6 to 11 p.m. Eastern, and you can watch it live on YouTube. Just search BetMGM Tonight and hit that subscribe button. You can watch the show live on Twitter at BetMGM Tonight, and you can listen to the show on the Westwood One Sports app, the Odyssey app, SiriusXM Channel 375, and hundreds of local affiliates throughout North America. Our talk and text line is 310-840-4910. You can call or simply just text your thoughts on the show or any of the topics we dive into. It's 310-840-4910. If you do text in, just let us know your name and where you're from so we can get you featured on the show. Much